Could it be? Me, your man, Louie Tee. Welcome to Washington football overtime. Bills football team. Ouch. I'd be lying to you if I said that I wasn't disappointed. Not so much surprised. I thought this was very, capable of happening with the way the Bills are explosive on offense. And, this team we're not there yet. This was, as Ron said, a measuring stick game. And Chase Young said, how much weight are we carrying? Well, we find out not carrying a lot of weight. And we're not there yet, And so we'll get to a lot of the different things that happened in this game. I know you guys are frustrated. So let's just get straight to the comment section and see how you guys feel about the loss. We start with Metaphor. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, Metaphor. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Stand up. We in the building. Metaphor writes, Lou, sad loss. Time for laps. Bad ref. Refs bad. D worst. Landon worst. Nostra Metaphor called it earlier today. Tucker longest field goal ever. That field goal was epic. I watched that at the end of the game. Before coming on here, I watched that entire game. And to bang it home from 66 off the crossbar, up in the air and through, that's just deflating if you're Detroit. But I thought the refs were awful in this game as well. But that's not why we lost this game. Let's not kid ourselves. We can sit here and blame whoever we want. We lost by 22 points. When you lose by 22, you don't get to blame the referees. We got our asses handed to us in every facet of the game, outside of special teams. That was a great kickoff by Dustin Hopkins in a recovery. But outside of that, the defense was dominated for the third straight week. I think it's time now that we stop talking about this defense being the catalyst and this, that, and the third, because we're going to play much more dynamic and explosive offenses than the one we saw today or last week against the Giants or the week before that against the Chargers. And we can't stop anybody right now. I'm afraid for next week. I'm glad the Falcons got their first win, because it would have been a shame if they would have gotten their first win off of us next week, because they're probably going to score 30 next week. With the way this defense is playing right now, we can't stop anybody. And that's the most disappointing part about where we are right now. But the defense wasn't good. The referees weren't good. But at the end of the day, we just weren't good, period. There's nothing really much more to say. What more can I say? Really not much more to say. We weren't good in any facet of the game. And when you get dominated the way that we did today, you're going to lose football games, and you're going to give up a 40 burger, and you're going to get spanked. And that other team's starting quarterback is going to be on the bench, all smiles, with about 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. It's embarrassing. Got another super chat here. This one is from John Livingston, my guy, JL Smooth. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, man, I said it. He said, man, I said it, Lou. I felt like y'all were walking into a buzzsaw this Sunday. Our O-line far surpassed my expectations. Darrell Williams handled Chase, and when he didn't, Josh just avoided and found the open guy. Yeah, we walked into an absolute buzzsaw, and you're right about Darrell Williams on that right side of the offensive line, really handling Chase Young all day long. And like you said, when Chase did try to turn the corner, all Josh did was step up and buy time. It wasn't really a big deal because there was no more pressure. Only guy that really was getting consistent pressure throughout the day was Daron Payne. And it was never synced up with somebody else getting pressure that forced Josh Allen into a sack or a fumble or anything. If Payne got pressure, well, Chase Young's 15 yards up the field, so all he needs to do is elude out to his right and find someone and extend. Or like on the third down and 15, I believe it was the first one of the game, all he did, Daron Payne got held. I don't know how they didn't call that, but he gets held, obviously. But Josh Allen just steps up. There's no pressure from anybody else. Calmly and cool and collected, throws a dart to, I want to say it was Stephon Diggs for, or Emmanuel Sanders, either one of them, for like a 19-yard gain on 3rd and 15. And the onslaught begun from that point on. Thank you for the super chat, JL Smooth. Greatly appreciate you. Red Wings 01, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. And JL Smooth, thank you for being a member of the mob squad. Giving up third downs like clockwork. I considered getting a stop a luxury. Kendall got burned all day. Chase a one-trick pony. Bostic looked lost, etc. Yeah, I mean, we have regressed back to 2017 and 2016 when you pray for a third down stop at these points now. Like when we get a third down stop, it's to be celebrated because they're so few and far between. It's ridiculous. I don't know what the Bills win on third down. I'd venture to say it's somewhere in the 9 to 10 of 13 range. Let's take a look. It was another embarrassing number similar to the first week of the season against the Chargers. Let's see what the Bills went. 9 of 15 on third downs for the Buffalo Bills, which averages out to 60% on third downs. And you don't need a calculator for that. I mean, we were terrible again on third downs. That's where the money is made in this league, is finding ways off the field on third downs. And frankly, we just haven't been able to do that. Chase is simply just speed rush up the field. If it doesn't work, and it hasn't worked all season long, then he's not hitting home. So that's getting old fast. Bostic, I mean, I'm not going to kill John Bostic. He was the least of our problems in this football game. The secondary is much more of a concern, along with the defensive line not getting any true pressure. So I'd take a look at that secondary first before anything else. Red Wings 0-1. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, at least our O-line and running backs bothered to show up. That they did. And I also want to give a huge shout out to Juice. He seems like the only guy in the secondary that can play a full game without picking up a defensive pass interference penalty and get pass breakups too. So big shout out to the rookie Juice for holding it down and at least giving us one guy to be hopeful for in that secondary, because it's been a comedy of errors and bad play in that secondary to start the season off. But as you mentioned, the running backs were outstanding and the offensive line, give them credit as well. Red Wing 01, thank you for another super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, how about that Justin Tucker kick, though? Good for him. I loved it. I mean, that's what took me so long to get up here, is that I was watching the end of that and the Chiefs-Chargers game, both going down to the wire, and Lamar Jackson completes a ridiculous pass, and then you bring on Justin Tucker for a 66-yarder, and I was like, there's no way he's going to make this. But I told you, he's the greatest kicker I've ever seen in my life. So I didn't want to put anything past it. He hit it good. It was right down the middle. And now you're just watching to see if it's long enough. And I see it bounce into the air, and I'm thinking, okay, it's going to go backwards. And that thing hits straight up, and then it goes over the post. What a kick. What a win. What a deflating loss if you are the Detroit Lions. I mean, if you're a fan of the Lions today, that one stings as much as any loss I can think of, because you thought you had that game, and you don't know when you're going to win another game. I mean, the Lions, that's rough. That's rough. Tony P56, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Tony P writes, I said it in the preseason and everyone crucified me. I was going to wait until later in the season, but it needs to be said now. Chase Young is overhyped. I'm not willing to get on the Chase Young is overhyped train. I think what needs to be done there is that he needs to reassess what it means to be dominant. He's got the talent, you know, and the ability and the size and the speed and the quickness and everything you need to be an elite pass rusher. He needs to go back to the drawing board and understand what it means to be. He doesn't have a pass rush plan at all. I feel like his pass rush plan has even regressed from last season. Everything right now is speed up the field. He's not setting tackles up. He's not going inside. There are no crossovers. There's nothing. He's given us nothing. I was so excited after that Patriots first preseason game when I saw that latch and snatch. I haven't seen that one time from him this season. Like, I don't know what he's doing right now. I don't know what he's saying in his head, but everything, it's the same rush. If I'm going up against Chase Young, just expect speed to the outside. And he may try to convert it to power, but all you have to do is look for the speed up the field and just push his ass up around the pocket. And that's all tackles are doing. And it's just the same rush over and over again. You know, wash, rinse, repeat. He's doing the same thing over and over again. And he's more talented than that. And that's where I think it comes to coaching at this point now, where, yeah, Chase Young isn't going out and doing anything different. But as a staff, how are you sitting down watching film with him and thinking that that's okay and not, conversing with him and saying, hey, man, you got to switch it up. You've gone 4 times straight outside, hard, speed rush to the edge. Now go inside on him, cross him over, couple of hard steps up the field like you're going speed. He's going to open up the gate because he's scared. He doesn't want to get beat by your speed. Go inside. I don't see any of these things. Long arm of the law. Where are the different variety of moves that this guy should have? Like, I don't understand what is being taught here. So, that's the biggest deal for me. I'm not willing to, Chase Young's a bust. I know a lot of people are going to do that because that's what fans do. They go to the opposite end of the spectrum. No, this is not the start to the season that we wanted, especially from a guy that won the Defensive Player of the Year last year. And we were expecting that monumental second-year leap. It's not off to a great start, but I'm not going to just bail on Chase Young already. The guy is super talented, but we got to see what's being done because it's not just all Chase. Some of this has to fall in the lap of the coaching staff. He's not doing anything else but the same speed rush up the field. At some point, someone's got to intervene and say, bruh, that's not working. You got to try something else. So, F. Altos, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, Louie, what does Rivera have to see to put DeShazer at free safety? We miss his physicality back there. I mean, that's cool to miss his physicality, but you still got to be close enough to hit somebody, right? I mean, these guys are catching a football, and there's nobody within a 10-mile radius of these receivers on 3rd and 7 and 3rd and 10 and 3rd and 12 and 3rd and 50. I mean, these guys are wide open. So, I don't know what DeShazer's physicality is going to do. These guys are so wide open that it doesn't really matter at this point. These zones, at some point, okay, just beat me with man-to-man. If we can't play zone, and we obviously can't play a well put together zone coverage. Our zones are so loose and sloppy and easy to dissect. If you can't, and we're not hitting home, so it's not like you can marry it up with the rush and say we're going to play zone coverage. The receiver's going to have an opportunity to sit down and get comfy in a spot where there is no defender that is unoccupied, and the quarterback's going to see him because the pressure isn't getting there from the defensive line. So at this point, you have to play man-to-man coverage. You don't want to turn your back to a mobile quarterback like Josh Allen. To hell with it. Zone obviously isn't working. At what point don't you say, all right, they're killing us in this zone. Let's just play man. And if we get torched in that, we get torched in that. I don't know. Red Wings 01, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, Taylor height and weak arm really showed today. I thought his height really showed today. His arm wasn't the biggest of issues. I thought, and you got to watch, I got to see the film. I thought that he was not decisive. He didn't know. I think when they took away first and second reads, he didn't know what to do. And these are the types of games where you want his mobility to really show. And I didn't think he used his legs enough. Don't force it. You got wheels. It's 2nd and 10. Tuck it and run, get 4, make it 3rd and 6. And he just kept wanting to stay back there and throw the football. And you could tell he's really small. Really, really small. I thought it showed today because I thought there were times he panicked because he couldn't see and almost ran into some sacks, but got away because of his elusiveness. And I just thought he needed to be more decisive. Okay, if it's not there and you don't like what you see, get out of there and run. There were opportunities for him to take off. I just thought he was too indecisive today. Dejan Bell, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, I'm not upset, Lou. The Bills cold as hell. I knew they were fully capable. This is a team that was in the AFC East, AFC Championship game a season ago. And they're the first of 4 teams that we're going to see that played in the championship game in their respective conferences a season ago. All 4 of those teams that played in championship games last year, we're playing against them. And this one was on the road against Josh Allen, who's one of the best quarterbacks in football. It's only going to get worse from here in terms of the level of competition. They were to me the lesser of the 4 teams in the championship game, even though the Chiefs are struggling right now. They were the lesser of the 4 teams in my estimation, and we got our doors blown off. So if the defense doesn't improve by the time we see Mahomes in 3 weeks, that's going to be a bloodbath. Then you got the Packers on the road, I believe, the week after that. That could get really ugly. And then, of course, you got Brady after the bye. I mean, shit could go really south for this team very quickly if they're not careful, because this was a really, really poor showing defensively. And it's not getting any better. I keep waiting for it to get better. It's not getting any better right now. That's the most disappointing part is it's not getting any better. And I keep waiting. I keep hoping. I'm an optimistic guy. It's just not getting any better. It's getting worse, actually. Tony P56, thank you for the super chat. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes, I love the guy, and it's early in the season, but his lack of pass rush moves and not bending the corner makes him average. I expect he'll be at OTAs next year. He probably will be. You can't big time it when you, I mean, look, it's still early. He could end up with 15 and a half sacks still this season. I mean, I can tell you this, you're absolutely 110% correct about his inability to bend the corner. That's the biggest thing is guys are pushing him up the field. He's not ducking. He's not sliding under guys, pushing him up the field. He's just allowing them to push him up the field, and he's not turning that corner, which is what the elite pass rushers do. They stick their foot in the ground at about 7.5, 8 yards, and they flatten to the quarterback. He's not doing that right now. He's not doing that. So the biggest problem I see is that he's not giving tackles anything else to think about. If I'm a major league hitter and I know you're throwing a fastball, guess what? I'm sitting dead red fastball. I'm going to smoke it. I don't care if you throw it 101 miles an hour. I'm going to knock it out of the park because I'm a major league hitter and I can hit fastballs. If it comes straight, I'm going to straighten it out the other way. These tackles are professional. You're not playing Rutgers anymore, okay? You're not getting to beat up on Purdue any longer. These guys are professional tackles. Guess what? If they know a speed rush is coming, they can get out of their stance and push you around the pocket. He's got to switch it up, and he's not doing that right now. Dejan Bell, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Who writes, G-Men 0-3. I'm so happy. Y'all feel me, chat? It's bittersweet. I mean, obviously you're excited. I mean, because we're going to be one game out of first place no matter what happens. You know, Dallas Eagles, somebody's got to win that game. I don't think we're going to get a tie. And you'll be one game out of first place. But again, I've talked about this already. Aren't we sick and tired of looking and yeah, I want the Giants to lose. I want the Cowboys to lose, the Eagles to lose every single week. But aren't we sick and tired of having to rely on other teams to lose? We want to be able to win and take care of business ourselves. But yes, I'm excited. I can't speak for anybody else. I'm excited that the Giants lost. I love it. Want more of it. And we'll see what happens on Monday night. Somebody's got to win the division still, guys. Somebody still got to win this division. So Brian Hancock, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Brian Hancock, thank you for being a member of the MOBB Rights. After 10 days to prepare, we should have played better. Maybe same result, but damn, I feel the same way you do, Brian. I was saying that over and over in my head as I was watching the game with the MOBB. And, you know, we were talking amongst each other during the game. And I never said it in the comment section because I was like, I'm just going to save it for overtime unless somebody else brings it up. But I was going to bring it up during this show, and I'm glad you did. How can you look so unprepared after 10 days? I mean, that's the thing that's so frustrating is we had 10 days to prepare for the Buffalo Bills. We had 10 days to prepare for their offense. We had 10 days to prepare for their defense. And we go 3 and out again on offense. We go 3 and out again. And we had a really, I thought was a bad job by J.D. McKissick on that first. That set the tone. I mean, come on. We can't make those type of mistakes. I talked about, you know, taking advantage of opportunities. There was an opportunity to start fast on offense. So the defense gives it up like they always do. 3rd and 15, and you give up a first down. They always give it up. We had a chance to respond offensively. Taylor makes a great throw to, I want to say it was Logan Thomas, maybe for a first down. It might have been Terry. I don't remember who the hell it was. And you're thinking, okay, let's go. Let's respond. And then JD on a bad, you know, pass interference, OPI, and he didn't need to do that. That guy was not going to be anywhere near, I think it was Terry. That guy wasn't going to be anywhere near Terry. You didn't need to do that. Stupid, dumb, and 10 days, and that's what we get. I mean, that's really disappointing. But again, I think a lot of us forget this. I try to remind you guys of this. We're a young team. We went 7-9 last year. We're only in year 2 of Ron's plan. Trust me. You know, we're not anywhere close to where we think the finished product is going to be. A lot of you out there, we're expecting, I don't know why, 11, 12 wins. I told you best case scenario was 10, and I'm not backing off of that. We haven't looked good. If this doesn't change defensively, however, there's no way we get anywhere close to 10. We'd be lucky to get to the low end, which was 7, with the way we're playing defensively right now. We can't beat anybody playing the way we're playing defensively right now. No one. Trevor Patch. I don't know either, man. Thank you for the super chat, Trevor Patch. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. I don't know. I mean, the offense, I'm not worried about the offense. They were overwhelmed by the environment. It was a snowball effect. The referees didn't help us out at all. but we didn't help ourselves. We turned it over. We made stupid mistakes. At the end of the day, I'm not concerned about the offense. Is the least of my worries. I think we can score points. I think we can move the football with Taylor Heinicke in the lineup. My problem is this defense. We can't get stops. We can't. How many possessions did we have on defense and how many stops did we actually get? I only remember the Bills punting once in this game. Once. And that's when Kendall Fuller probably should have picked the damn ball off. I thought that was one of the turning points of the game. You got an opportunity down 21-14. You got all the momentum. The defense has a chance to get off the field on third down. He's got a pick in his hands. He's stumbling, bumbling, and he bumbles into the damn Bills offensive player and it knocks the ball out of his hands, and they got a punt, and they pin us, and we give it right back to them 3 and out. I don't think they punted again the remainder of the game. I think they had probably 11 possessions and scored on 10 of them. I'm going to look right now. I'm curious. The Bills had 12 possessions, and I think they scored on let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They scored on 8 of them, and they could have scored on a 9th if they didn't want to take knees at the end of the game. It's embarrassing, man. For 2 weeks in a row, we've given up touchdowns on 7 or more possessions. We gave up 7 scoring drives to the Giants last week. We give up 8 this week. That's pathetic, and you're not going to win a lot of games that way. Simply put, it's pathetic. Craig Harrison, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Craig writes, start off down every game, a score on the first possession. A touchdown at that. So the defense starts off giving up a touchdown, he says, every game. And he's not wrong. We've given up a touchdown in every single game on the first possession defensively. This defense is counterfeit. And where is the supposed great D-line? This team is a huge effing disappointment so far. The team is not a disappointment for me. I disagree with that last statement. Everything else you said is spot on right now. I disagree with the entire team being counterfeit. I got no issues with what we've done on special teams to this point. I got no issues with what this offense looks like to this point. All my problems reside on the defensive side of the football. Every single one of them. No, you don't want to turn it over, which we did today, and you can't do that against good teams, especially on the road that are better than you. But at the end of the day, it'd be nice if you got some help from the defense. It'd be nice if the defense created a short field every now and again. It'd be nice if the defense just got a damn punt and gave the offense opportunities without being down 7, 14, 21, 28. You know, it'd be nice if the offense didn't have to try and dig us out of a hole. That second Taylor Heinicke pick, that was nothing more than Heinicke saying, I got to make a play. He doesn't feel that way if we're not down by 20, 22 points or 29 points or whatever the hell the margin of the margin was at the time in the game in terms of a deficit. He doesn't make that stupid throw. There was no way he could fit that throw in there to Adam Humphries. It's a dumb decision. It was the stupidest throw I've seen him make thus far in Washington. But that was nothing more than a guy trying to force something because he knows the defense isn't about a damn, and they're not going to give us a chance. So I got to do it. And that's what starts to snowball. When the defense stinks, now the offense feels like they got to make every single play. And that's when you get Logan Thomas trying to break 57 tackles and he gets poked to the football. Guys trying to do a little too much because they know if we don't get it done, they're not going to get it done. And we're going to get our asses handed to us. Sean, HTTR forever. Thank you for the super chat and being a member of the MOBB, who writes, 1, Scott has to go. 2, Washington football team is the defensive coordinator, a.k.a. Jack, doing. This is ridiculous. Ron better figure something out. Heal with loyalty. Oh, hell with loyalty. I don't believe in firing anybody. I don't think anybody needs to be fired. Adjustments need to be made. We're 3 games into a 17-game season. You guys have to stop with trying to fire everybody after every single bad performance. Is this defense really disappointing? You're damn right it is. Give guys an opportunity to try to fix it. You know, there are a lot of moving parts with this defense. I want to see more man-to-man, personally. obviously the zone isn't working. Give them a chance to make these adjustments. Hopefully this was the game that'll wake Jack up and he'll say, all right, the zone isn't working. Okay, we can't play zone coverage. I'm watching Kendall Fuller, and there is no one around him except the one receiver that's ultimately going to catch the football. There's nobody around him within a 7 to 8 yard radius in every direction except the guy that just ran right past him in the zone coverage, and he just stands there strifing, sort of like John Bostic. And him and Bostic combine to stand in no man's land, let the receiver run over the middle of the football field and catch it for a first down on 3rd and long. And I'm like, what are y'all doing? That's why we're not smart. A good corner there says there's nobody around. I'm going to run with this receiver. Take his ass away. We don't do that. We just stand and guard grass and hope for the best. I don't subscribe to firing anybody. That's not my move. That's not what I believe in. So I can't co-sign that. But what I can tell you that we do need to see some changes made. And if guys aren't getting it done, if you got to put somebody else in, so be it. But I think the philosophy needs to change. And I don't have a problem with what Scott did in this game either. I mean, this is my biggest problem with Scott. We could have run the football more today. I bet you McKissick averaged over 5 yards a carry. I can assure you of that. And Gibby didn't have a bad game himself. Let's see. Box score for Washington. McKissick had 3 carries for 23 yards. And Gibby had 12 for 31. So Gibby wasn't great on the day. But when you combine the two of those guys, it's 54 yards on 15 carries. So just a shade under 4 yards a pop. The biggest problem for me was we didn't run the football. Like, I'll give you an example. This is what bothers me with Scott. I can't remember what possession it was. I want to say it was the possession that we went 3 and out after getting our only defensive stop, what it felt like the only defensive stop of the game. In the first half, when we were down 21-14, I believe it was that drive. It might have been the drive after that, whatever the case may be. We run on first down and we get 7 with JD. And then we throw it 2 straight times and we punt the football. And I'm like, why? What was the psychological sense in that? You just got 7 on first down. Why not run it again? But we know that Scott Turner wants to throw the football. We know that you guys will sit here and pound the table. We got to run the ball. That's not, I keep telling you this, and it's like y'all don't want to hear me. The evidence is there. The proof is in the pudding. He does not want to run the football. He wants to throw it. That's his favorite thing. Most offensive coordinators want to throw the football. That's fun. Running isn't. Anyway, I digress. Thank you for the super chat, Sean. William Lee, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, William Lee, writes, I have more confidence in Trump renting as a Democrat, running, I guess, for president than our defense stopping any team on 3rd and 30. I mean, it's been that bad. Again, this brings back shades of 2016 when we were one of the worst 3rd and long defenses in NFL history, and it feels like we're trending in that direction again. The difference, though, is in 2016, we didn't have Chase Young, we didn't have Montez Sweat, we didn't have Jonathan Allen, we didn't have Daron Payne, we didn't have William Jackson III, we didn't have Landon Collins, we didn't have Kendall Fuller, we didn't have any of these guys that are supposed to be difference makers on our defense. That's the difference. Is in 2016. Well, we did have Kendall Fuller. I take that back. We did have Fuller. But in 2016, we didn't have the vast majority of the guys that are here defensively that are supposed to be making a difference. We were terrible. We didn't have any talent defensively. We sucked and we were old on defense. This is not that. This is supposed to be a defense that is supposed to be a unit that we can hang our hat on. If nothing else, if the offense stinks, at least the defense is supposed to give us a chance. It's the direct opposite right now. If the offense isn't willing to score 30 to 35 points, we don't stand a chance right now because our defense isn't good enough to stop the other team from scoring 30 to 35 points. So that's really, frustrating. It's disappointing. It's maddening. And again, I talked about this in the offseason that this is going to be a tougher schedule, but you guys pump the brakes on talking about how great this defense is going to be. We needed to see it. And I kept talking about how we couldn't stop the run and that When we saw real quarterbacks last year, we struggled. But even I didn't expect us to be this bad. You know, like this is next level. Like again, I'm getting those feelings now back of 2016, 17. I never thought I would go back down that road again with this defense. Never. Not with the talent that we have now. We didn't have any talent in 16 and 17. That was to be expected. We blamed it on the coordinator. You know, we blamed it on the lack of talent, which we didn't have any talent. Well, what's the excuse now? What's the excuse now? I think Jack has to go back to the drawing board and he has to start changing his philosophy. Yeah, you want to play zone. Look, F that. F it. Play man. If we can't stop someone in man-to-man, so be it. But the zone is not working. Stop banging your head up against the damn brick wall at this point. Rob Yu, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, damn, Lou, where do we go from here? Shaking my ham. I mean, you pick yourself up, you dust yourself off, and you got the Atlanta Falcons on the road next week. It's a winnable football game, man. The season is not over, okay? If you thought we were going to win against Buffalo, then you needed to be checked medically, okay? We weren't going to win this game. I just didn't expect for us to get our brains bashed in the way that we did and to give up a 40 burger. That I did not expect. And maybe I was insane and crazy for thinking that we weren't going to do that because the defense hadn't shown us any ability to stop anybody leading up to this game. So maybe I was insane. Maybe I'm the crazy one for thinking that we weren't going to give up 40 plus in this game. But I didn't anticipate the offense turning it over as many times as they did. 3 turnovers in this game. Could have easily been 4 or 5 if not for a penalty negating a Taylor Heineke interception. And, you know, when I look back on this game, it's a game of missed opportunities. And I talked about in the keys to the game, taking advantage of opportunities. We didn't do that. You get an opportunity to get off the field on 3rd and 15 on the opening possession of the game defensively, and you give it up. It's a sign of things to come, and it really set the tone for what we were going to be defensively the remainder of the day. We're going to be fine from this standpoint. They're not going to quit on Ron. This is not the kind of team that's going to mail it in, pack it in. They're going to fight, okay? They're going to fight. And we got a chance to get back to 500 next week. It's not going to be easy because our defense stinks right now. Just flat out garbage. So it's not going to be easy next week, but it's a very attainable goal to get back to 500 next week. And then the week after that, we go back home, and the Saints are no world beaters, okay? But if we play the week before that on defense, they're going to beat us too. But we can win the next 2 games before taking on the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes and then going and taking on Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. We can win the next 2 games. So where do we go from here? We pick ourselves up. We dust ourselves off. You chalk this up to playing a team that's just flat out better than you in their building with a better roster that's a lot further along in their process than you are. And you go back to the drawing board and you say that the Falcons are in the same spot that we are in, rebuilding, retooling, but they're a lot further down. The only difference is they got Matt Ryan and we don't. And that might be the difference in the game, to be honest with you. We'll see. But they're rebuilding just like we are. We're a year ahead of them because they got a first-year GM and a first-year head coach, and we got a second year. We're second year in everything. So for me, you pick yourself up, you dust yourself off, and you say, how can we beat Atlanta and get back to 500 next week? That's where we go from here. Condo P, thank you for a super chat. Greatly appreciate you, and thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My girl Condo P writes, you got to get an all-black background. I got one. I don't have one for Washington, but I got one. But that's cool. I mean, I don't want to be too morbid. Not right now, at least. Maybe we look up and we're 3-10 at some point this season, then maybe I'll bust out the black Louie Tee Network background and keep it all black. You know what it is, though. We took one on the chin. It's all good. I expected to take one on the chin, just not that hard. I thought we were going to get hit by Floyd Mayweather. We got hit by Mike Tyson today. I wasn't expecting that. Thank you for the super chat, Condo P. Desi Des, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat, Desi Des. Got another super chat here from Rob Yu. Thank you for doubling up, Rob Yu. Double up, who writes, Lou, I haven't given up hope, but damn, I don't give a F who they put in there, but Landon, Fuller, and Bostic equal suspect coverage. Juice gets a rookie pass. Like I said, Juice, he played some of the best football on the defensive side of the ball today. We did get another 4th down stop, didn't we? But we didn't force a punt, but we got to stop with Jamin Davis there, and then we turned it over with, I think that was the Logan Thomas fumble, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, I'm not a Landon Collins fan. I've already said that. He doesn't add very much value to this football team. He talks a lot, but he doesn't actually produce anything. He thinks he's better than what he is. I'm not a Landon Collins fan, but I don't really care what they do. They just need to change the scheme. Right now, the zone isn't working. And maybe they don't have confidence in William Jackson III and Kendall Fuller and Juice and and Bobby McCain and some of these other guys to run with these players in man-to-man coverage. Maybe they don't have any confidence in our ability to play man-to-man, but at some point, zone is obviously not working. Can we try something else? I mean, how many times do we need to sit and watch the same thing on 3rd and 7, on 3rd and 9, on 3rd and 15, on 3rd and 6, where somebody's sitting down in zone coverage, wide ass open for a first down? Like, how many times do we need to keep watching that? That movie is old now. Let's see something different. Desi Des, thank you for the super chat and doubling up. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Who writes, hey, Louie T, remember a few days ago you said this team, the days of getting blown out were over. Well, that happened today. I did say that. And I did think the days of us getting our asses handed to us like this were over. But that speaks to the level of confidence that I had going into this season with the defense, and me just thinking they're not going to be as bad as the 2016 or 2017 defenses that we saw here what felt like an eternity ago. But obviously I was wrong. This defense, and you're absolutely 110% spot on. I didn't think we would get our asses handed to us this season like this. And there are teams fully capable, like this Buffalo Bills team, like the Chiefs, like the Buccaneers, like the Packers on the road. There are teams that are fully capable of handing us our asses like this on a platter and saying, here you go, eat this. What does it taste like? And we say, tastes like ass. Yeah, that's right, because you're eating ass. And I didn't think we would be eating ass in week 3 on the road, giving up 21 points in damn near 12 minutes of football, and look up and you're down 21-0. I didn't think that would be the case. We battled back though and made it 21-14, but that was the beginning of the end when we got it to a one-score game after trailing by 20. And that was the kind of fight I was expecting to see the entire game. Yeah, we fell down 21-0. Here these boys come. They fight. That's what they do. And then the Bills turned the faucet off completely, and we just couldn't figure it out. We didn't know which way was the right way. We didn't know if up was down, down was up, left was right, right was left. We didn't know what the hell was going on, what direction we were going in. We just know we were going down and hard. And so you're right. I thought the days of us getting our asses whooped like this were over. I was sadly mistaken, and that's really disappointing. Thank you for the super chat, Desi Dez. Got another one here from my guy, JL Smooth. Thank you for the super chat and doubling up. Double up. Who writes, I think Chase Young will be great. Maybe he was tired. I saw Dawson Knox block Chase one-on-one one play. That can't happen for him. He might have been tired at the point you saw him, but that's not the point. Chase Young, there are times where he's not tired and he's getting one-on-one blocks. And we watched. I mean, it's getting to the point now where if you're a fan, you're focusing in on the D-line and you're just watching to see if somebody will get a win. And nobody's getting a win. And that's the part that's frustrating, because this D-line was supposed to be the catalyst. This D-line was supposed to be what made this team great. You spent all of this draft capital on the defensive line to give you a chance to really create havoc defensively, force quarterbacks to be uncomfortable, and really make the secondary look better than what it may ultimately be. And it's been the direct opposite. The D-line's inability to create pressure by themselves has put this defense in a really tough bind, and our secondary isn't equipped to make plays on their own. That's what we've seen in the first 3 weeks of the season, is that if we can't get pressure on the quarterback, and we haven't consistently, at least, we've gotten pressure on the quarterback in spurts. If we can't consistently get pressure on the quarterback, we are going to be destroyed in the secondary, because they're not capable of playing competent zone coverage. And I don't know, for whatever reason, why we won't play man. So it's really frustrating right now. Derek B, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. And thank you for being a member of the squad. My guy, Derek B, writes, 99 outclassed and dominated by 75. Eye-opening loss. He was definitely destroyed in this game. Again, I watched him pushed around the pocket all day long. And again, as many of you have already said, there's no counter right now. There's no other move. He's just throwing gas out there. He's just throwing fastballs. And he didn't have another pitch. And you can't survive in the major leagues with one pitch. You can't survive in the NFL as a pass rusher with one move. You gotta have a counter, man. You just gotta have one more pitch. If he would just go inside, if he would just cross over sometimes, that'd be enough to make tackles think, okay, I can't open up the gate too quick. Now you can turn the corner on them when you do go with speed, because they got to watch if you're going to go inside or not. But you see none of it. It's just really frustrating. It really, really is. If you're out there and you're watching this video, do me a huge solid. Hit the like button. Over 600 of you, only 134 likes. That's just as embarrassing as Washington's performance today. Please hit the like button. Zach LaRoche, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, watching Chase Young's futility on pass plays is becoming a morbid obsession for me. I think it's an obsession for many people out there. He said, I think it's just a job for him and he's not personally invested. I disagree with that. He wants to be great. I don't think that he thinks that what he's doing isn't working. It's just a thing here, a thing there. He thinks, if I just fine tune a couple of things, my pass rush is going to no. And that's where somebody needs to get in his ear and say, Chase, that speed rush can work. But you know how you will make it even more effective is if you do other things, not just do that every single play. You know, so again, that's I go back to coaching. To me, it's all about coaching. And, you know, there's somebody out there, I can't remember who, but it's somebody in particular that always says, hey, we need to fire Sam Mills. And I'm like, man, just chill with that. You know, I don't think we need to fire Sam Mills, but I would love to know what he's coaching these guys. When he's sitting down one-on-one watching film with Chase, what is he talking about? What are we seeing? What are we looking at? Because I know what I would do. I know what I would tell him. I know how I would coach him and what the things that I would tell him to do. But I'm not a defensive line coach. You know, I'm just a guy watching games on my couch, you know, talking ball with the mob and the rest of the fan base. Like, what do I know? But I do know this, and I think all of you out there can see the same thing. What he's doing is currently not working. It's not working, so why not try something else? That's the biggest thing is we keep doing the same things over and over and expecting different results, you know, and that's frustrating. It's really, really frustrating. John Livingston, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for tripling up. Who writes, the backbreaker or when I stopped being nervous was when we stopped you in the third and had that 7-8 minute drive for a touchdown. That wasn't the backbreaker for me. The backbreaker was the field goal before halftime. Even though we got the ball after half, I had already said to the mob, we have to score on the opening possession of the third quarter. And we've got to pretty much blank the Bills in the third quarter to give ourselves a chance. But we needed to score that first possession, and we didn't. But when we cut it to 10, you guys got the field goal to push it out to 10, and then we weren't able to respond. We couldn't afford to give up any points there. And we did. It was so soft. It was so easy. I mean, that was as soft as drugstore cotton and easy going down the field. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that drives me nuts right there is that, oh, you can have anything you want. Take it. You want 17 and out of bounds? Have it. You want 18 over the middle of the football field? It's all yours. The Bills have timeouts, you know. It's not like they're driving the length of the field. They need a touchdown, and we're just trying to keep everything in front of us. They got timeouts. And we're just letting them casually step out of bounds after 15, over the middle, wide open for 22. And it just, everything is too damn easy. Nothing's a struggle. Everything's easy. That's frustrating. I can tip my cap to a team when it's great coverage like week 1. When you just say, you know what, Justin Herbert made some great throws. There was some tight coverage. We were right there, and they made plays. You can accept that. But last week, guys were wide open against Daniel Jones. This week, guys were wide open in zone coverage. And you're like, okay, what is going on? Why is this happening time and time again? And that's the thing that drives me nuts. That's the thing I can't wrap my brain around. So why is it so easy? Shouldn't be this easy. Twin D, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, LT, do you think Chase is open to being coached to make the necessary adjustments in his game, or does he think he's got it under control? I don't know. I don't know Chase personally. I think he's a coachable guy just listening to him talk, but I don't know him, from Adam from Eve. So I can't say what his mindset is, his mentality is, but obviously he's not in a position to feel like he's arrived. He didn't have 12 and a half sacks in his rookie season. He had 7.5. Okay. He was good last year. He wasn't great last year, but he was really good last year. And we were hoping that step to greatness was going to start this year. And it hasn't taken place yet. So I would hope that he is open to being coached. Okay. I would hope that's the case. I can only assume that that's the case. I don't think he's one of these guys that thinks he's got it all and he's figured it out. He talks about, watching film with his Ohio State coach every week. And so I don't know what's, being taught, what's not being taught, I don't know. I don't know. I just know what I watch isn't good enough and it's not working. That's what I do know. Thank you for the super chat, Twin D. Spencer Creech, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, if our defense isn't getting home with 4 and coverage is suspect, why not blitz more instead of letting Josh Allen pick us apart? Again, I think that's what we have to continue to do. I think that's the real question right now with Jack Del Rio is, and Ron's guilty too, because Ron could easily go to Jack and say, okay, enough of that shit, blitz. He's got total control over what happens. So we can sit here and just blame Jack for that, but Ron has to take some responsibility too, because at the end of the day, Jack's calling the plays, but if you don't like what Jack's calling, you can easily walk over to him because you're a defensive guy as well and say, hey, Jack, let's blitz a little bit more. All right, the 4-man pressure isn't hitting home. Let's blitz a little bit more. They didn't do that, but to hell with blitzing. You guys want blitzing to be the answer. How about playing some man coverage? I can't stress this enough. How about playing some man coverage, man? How about playing something else? And I'm all for blitzing as well. At this point, I'm all for mixing it up. 4-man pressures aren't working anymore. The 4-man rush isn't, that dog ain't hunting right now. Okay. Let's try and do something else. I'm with that. Let's try something different. That's what I'm on right now. Thank you for the super chat, Spencer Creech. Lamarick Anderson. Thank you for Lamarick. Damn. Sorry. Lamarick Anderson. Thank you for the super chat. My guy, LA, writes, this terrible zone defense and Scott's horrible situational play calling is ridiculous. When is it out time? It's too early to be talking about getting out of anything. I mean, I keep stressing this to you guys. It's too early to be talking reckless. We are in year 2 of Ron's plan. Now, again, a lot of you, if you want the door, it's over there. You can get out. Okay. If you want the door, it's over there. You can get out. I'm not stopping you. Ron's not stopping you. Nobody's stopping you. If you want off of the ride, there's the door. Now, we're not stopping the vehicle. So you're going to have to jump out. You're going to have to do a couple of rolls. Stop, drop, and roll. All right. You may have a couple of burns from the speed, the high rate of speed in which you hit the ground. But if you want out, there's the door. But what I'm not going to do is sit here and tell you guys that I want this guy fired, that guy fired, because that's not how this works. That's why we stink and we've stunk for over a decade, because when something doesn't work, we think we can just go out and find somebody else to fix it. That's what bad organizations do. Let's see. First of all, Jack Del Rio it'd be one thing if we had some Joe Schmo defensive coordinator we never heard of, and this was his first opportunity, and he stinks. Jack Del Rio has had success everywhere he's gone defensively. So I'm going to hang my hat on that. All right. Now, he's going to have to figure out what he needs to do to get this defense on the right track. I trust that he will figure it out. Scott Turner, second year as a play caller. I agree. His situational awareness isn't always the greatest, but I haven't had an issue. De'Ami Brown on a jet sweep or on a reverse, whatever the hell it was. I like the play call. The Bills were ready for it. I mean, what do you want to do? I like the call. They made a great play. The safety, Micah Hyde, stayed home. What do you want to do? I like the play call. I'm not going to sit here and bitch about it and second guess it after the fact. We had a 7-yard run on first down. He goes with the jet sweep or the reverse or whatever the hell it was. And that guy was sitting there, stayed at home, played disciplined defense, something we know nothing about. I'm not mad at that. He made a great play. Make him miss, De'Ami. Make him miss. He couldn't. He got tackled. Maybe Curtis Samuel comes back and it just lights this offense up and we do some different things. But the defense right now, the offense isn't the problem. Scott Turner is the least of my worries. I'm more concerned with this damn defense because if we can't stop anybody, we won't win. I don't care how good the offense plays. Let's see. Derek B, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for doubling up. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes 99, not a bust, but didn't work on his game in the offseason. I don't believe that because we saw a different move in the first preseason game. I just don't know why he's regressed back to doing the same shit he was doing last year. We saw a different move in the first preseason game on the first possession. Why aren't we seeing it now? That's the thing. Again, these are the answers that I need. That's all. I need answers. I need answers. Rob the GOAT. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Rob the GOAT writes, what's up, Lou? What's up, Rob? This team is frustrating to watch at times. That they are. We talk about pay this D-line and the other 3 D-line might be in trouble for getting paid. You're right. And I told you, we needed to pump the brakes on that conversation. I said we will cross that bridge when we get there because we don't know who's good and who's not. Montez Sweat may be the guy we need to pay, and Chase Young may be the guy that needs to walk for all we know. So I don't want to, start talking about those situations until we get there. And that's what I've been trying to tell you guys. Like, let's pump the brakes on those discussions about who we should or shouldn't pay. Let's just take it as they come. Terry is up next. Pay him. He deserves to be paid. And we'll keep going as, we get there and we see that guys deserve this and deserve that, and you move forward that way. But you're spot on. It is frustrating to watch. This team is at times. And yeah, we've been talking about this D-line and pay this guy and pay that guy. How about we just see what everyone does and see if they deserve to be paid or not? And right now, nobody right now looks like they need to have a lucrative payday when it's all said and done. But again, we're 3 games in. We'll see what happens and what these guys do moving forward. The Talk Heavy podcast. Thank you for the super sticker. Really appreciate you. Thank you so much. The Talk Heavy podcast. Tony P56. Thank you for the super chat and tripling up. Really appreciate you. Who writes, this game got me giving Ron's plan T the side eye. Hey, look, it's the second year of Ron. I told you guys the worst thing that happened to Ron Rivera was when we won the division last year because a lot of you conveniently forgot that we were 7-9. I think a lot of you and some people around the league, I think, conveniently forgot we were 7-9 in one of the worst divisions in football history. I think a lot of you over-exaggerated what that 7-9 really was. I think a lot of you forgot how we got to 7-9. I kept trying to remind you guys of that, and there are going to be bumps in the road. This is year 2. I said the worst thing that happened to Ron was that we won the division because now people have unrealistic expectations for this team. That said, nobody could have predicted that this defense would be as bad as it has been and that it would regress as badly and as quickly as it has. No one. And I don't care what kind of detractor you were. If you didn't think Ron was the right guy, if you thought we were going to fall on our face, you couldn't have thought that this defense was going to be this bad. At least not this early in the season. With everybody pretty much healthy. You couldn't have you couldn't have seen this coming. But as far as I'm concerned, we're right where we are probably supposed to be. We should have beat the Chargers. We should probably be 2-1 right now, but we didn't. And the good teams find ways to win close ball games. We've won one. We've lost one in terms of close ball games. We're probably going to be playing in another one next week because we're not going to dominate the Falcons. And now that they've gotten a win, they're going to have some confidence going home next week. And they're going to think, shit, they're 1-2. They stink on defense. Why can't we get back to 500 and get in this thing? And we're thinking the same thing. We're looking at each other like food. Somebody's going to eat next week. Damn it, I hope it's us. Damn it, I hope it's us. But don't give the Ron's Plan t-shirt and the side eye right now. Don't do that. It's year 2 of a long process. But I understand why you would be upset right now. The BHHD Washington Report. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, this reminds me of the Rams game last year. Hopefully it wakes us up. Thoughts on Jamin? Thought he looked fire. Love this team, and I'm not giving up. No, this doesn't remind me of the Rams game last year because we couldn't do anything offensively in that Rams game last year. It was an abomination. And, this reminds me more of the Cardinals game. This felt like the Cardinals game where we got down early. I think we were down 20-0 at halftime. We started to show a little bit of life in the second half, but it was too little too late, and they ran away and hid. This feels more like that game. I think, however, we weren't blown out many times last year, and we never gave up 40 last year. I don't know if there's a game last year that kind of compares to this, because at no point did we feel this bad about our defense last year. Not after the Rams game, not after the Lions game, not after the Cardinals game, not after the Browns game. I don't think there was ever a point where I felt this bad about the defense. But in the same breath, I still remain confident that Jack Del Rio, the talent is here. So they have to find the way to get the most out of this talent. I'm putting all the onus on Jack and Ron and all of those positional coaches to figure it out. They're not doing a good enough job of putting these guys in positions to make plays. And I don't want to hear about, we just need to go back and correct some mistakes. No, I want to see something differently being done. Obviously, guys aren't making the corrections that you think they should be, because we're seeing the same mistakes over and over again. So I just think that they need to do something differently, period. King of the North, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. And thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy, King of the North, writes, this and the Rams loss last year are the worst losses in Ron's tenure here. We played better after the Rams loss last year. Hopefully the defensive performance will smack some sense into Ron to change the scheme. Somebody else just brought up the Rams game. The Rams game, I thought, was one of the worst games from an overall standpoint. The offense was so bad in that game. The defense gave up big plays and they looked discombobulated. But we never had a chance in that Rams game. We had a chance in this game. We after falling down 21-0, we had all the momentum. And if Kendall Fuller catches that interception, we're in Bills territory. We have a shot to tie this game up after trailing 21-0. We never felt that way against the Rams. But to your point, we got emasculated against the Rams last year. We got emasculated today. And we did play better after that Rams game. But I can also tell you the schedule lightened up after that Rams game last year. We played the Giants twice in like a 3-week span. We played the Cowboys in between the two Giants games. We played the Bengals. And so we played the Lions. Like the schedule invited us to give us a chance to wake the hell up and play better ball. The schedule isn't going to do that for us. Other than these next two games, you could argue, maybe, just maybe. And with the way we're playing, I'm not willing to concede any goddamn thing. I'm not willing to say that, we should do this or should do that. No, we stink on defense right now. So everybody's looking at us like food. So we'll see. We'll see. If I were a betting man, I'd bet that we'd win the next two games. That's how I feel. But I'm an optimist. You can't listen to me. Okay. I'm a realist, but I'm also an optimist. And I told you we weren't going to win this game. I didn't expect to get our asses beat like we did and get our brains bashed in. But I'm an optimist. So I think we can win the next two. But you take them one at a time. We got a chance to get back to 500. That's the most important part, is we don't want this season to spiral out of control. The way to stop that from happening is you got to get back to 500. Give yourself a chance to fight. You lose to the Falcons. You lose to the Saints. You're 1-4, and now you got Mahomes and Rodgers in consecutive weeks. Your season is just about done, especially if this division doesn't stink again. And I don't think Dallas is going to allow that to happen. But we'll see. Thank you for the super chat, King of the North. Red Wings 01. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, my guy. Red Wings 01 writes, our receivers had hands of stone at times. He says Gibby, Cam, and Diami all had at least one super catchable drop. No separation. Taylor had all the time in the world. No one could get open, including Terry. I already told you Terry was going to be somewhat of a non-factor in this game because their cornerback over there really good. So I said other guys were going to have to step up. And I said that we were going to have to take advantage of opportunities. To your point, we had some big-time drops in this game. Diami, I mean, we were already losing pretty badly in the game at the time of that drop. I don't give a shit. It's 3rd and 7, and you got 5 yards of space in front of you and an easy 3rd down conversion, and he drops the ball. But I already told you guys that that is not the first, and it won't be the last drop that you get from Diami this season. He's going to drop the football, okay? He's already made some really good catches this season, but he's going to have drops. He had them in college. They're not just going to dissipate. Okay, so that wasn't a surprise to me. I'd much rather him do it in a game where you're already getting your teeth kicked in and have it be one of those comedy of error games where you're like, what else can go wrong? Okay, Diami wants to drop it on 3rd down. That figures. We stink today. Then a game where we have to have it and he decides to do that shit. He does that next week. That could be the difference between beating the Falcons and losing to the Falcons. Ask their cornerback, the Giants cornerback, Adoree Jackson, who had a chance in the end zone to catch a game-clinching pick. He drops it 2 plays later. The Falcons are in the end zone, and now they're tied, and they go on to lose the football game. The difference between catching a ball and losing the ball could be the difference between winning a game and losing a game. That wasn't the case today. We were going to lose this game anyway. But Cam Sims, you're down, pinned up against your own goal line. You need space. Catch the damn ball. They made a concerted effort to get Cam Sims touches today, too. They really did. That you want more opportunities? Catch the damn ball when you're in there, okay? And like I told you, and Gibby dropped the touchdown. We ultimately scored, so you're not going to kill him for that, but catch the damn ball! Told you Gibby doesn't have natural hands, though. I've already told you guys that. How about that catch and run for a touchdown on the screen? My guy DCJ said, we don't run screens. There you go. We don't run screens to the running back. You got one now, and it was a thing of beauty. Anyway, I digress. Thank you for the super chat, Red Wings 01. Derek B, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you and tripling up. My guy Derek B writes, one positive, top rookies are playing well. Bates, I couldn't tell you. John Bates is getting no clock, really. I mean, right now it's Ricky Seals-Jones and Logan Thomas. That's the 2 that they're rolling with, and that's okay. You know, I'm not mad at that. Bates will continue to develop. So will Sammy Reyes. I told you, we're in it for the long haul. You know, we want some, short-term gain. We want some results now that benefit us. But this is all about us building into a sustainable winner moving forward. So I don't think Banks is, and when we get to the film, we'll be able to see who's playing, and we'll get the snap counts, tomorrow, and we'll find out how many snaps was played by this guy and that guy. But I haven't seen a ton of John Bates on the field. It's been really, when we go to 2 tight ends, it's Ricky Seals-Jones and it's Logan Thomas. So Jamin Davis, great tackle on 4th down. The 2nd week in a row, he's made a big play in a big situation. He's continuing to mature and come along. Sam Cosmi looks outstanding. We had I think several of you have already said the offensive line was fantastic today. I thought they opened up some holes in the run game. I thought they were protecting well. The Bills sniffed Taylor Heineke at all. I mean, really, Heineke had all day to throw the football. Either, and again, we can't say nobody was creating separation. Gotta watch the film. Maybe I didn't think he could see. He looked so tiny out there. I don't know if he can see over the damn line at times. Anyway, I digress. And Juice, as you mentioned, Juice played well too. Diami, not so much, but Juice played well. John Livingston, my guy, JL Smooth, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, who writes, I saw Chase drop into coverage a few times. Is that normal for him? He seemed frustrated with Del Rio. Curious if that's why. Reminds me of Mario on the Bills when Rex wanted him to drop and he hated it. He's a rusher. Send him. No, he didn't drop, a ton. Not like his first year. Well, not like Montez Sweat's first year here when we had Greg Minuski as our defensive coordinator. He was dropping Montez Sweat a ton in his rookie season. I didn't have a problem. One of those drops, we actually got pressure, and Chase was in zone coverage, and Josh Allen threw the ball right behind him to Cole Beasley for a first down. Like, you'd like to see a guy make a play, but at the end of the day, he's supposed to be going after the quarterback. I don't know if that's what him and Jack were discussing something over there. I don't know if that was it. I mean, I don't even think it was on that same possession when they were having that discussion and Chase looked a little animated. I don't think that was about him dropping. I just think, Jack wants to know what the hell's going on out there. And Chase really didn't have shit, to tell him other than getting our asses handed to us, he drops from time to time, but it's not enough for us to be concerned or talking about it. He needs to get pressure on the quarterback. To hell with, whether he's dropping in coverage or not. When we send him, he's not getting there. That's the problem. So I don't have a problem with a coordinator switching it up. I see Khalil Mack and Myles Garrett dropping into coverage. It's what you do. You want to switch it up. You want to give, because teams a lot of times on third downs are going to slide their protection to your best pass rusher. You give other guys, and it worked. You drop Chase, you come off the other side. We had a blitzing safety there, come off the edge, and had a chance to hit Josh Allen. Couldn't get there fast enough. Allen rolls out away from the pressure and finds Cole Beasley. I mean, shit happens. Jay Hunter Lee, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Jay Hunter Lee, writes, front four struggles, zone coverage doesn't fit this team, and the defensive coaches seem to be delusional. What's your take? You're not far off. I mean, the thing I don't like is when you go and get a guy and you try to make him something that he's not. William Jackson III is a man-to-man corner. You knew that when you went out and got him. That's what he played in Cincinnati, and you want him to play a ton of zone coverage. So don't get mad when he's getting called for PI because he's 7 to 10 yards off and you're asking him to do things that he's not comfortable doing. I'd much rather see him get beat in man-to-man like he did against Darius Slayton and just say, all right, that's the shit you said you good at. Let me see you do it. I'd much rather see him do that than to see him be 7 to 10 yards off. He actually I thought the push off, yeah, he had his hands on Stephon Diggs, and Diggs was trying to get him off of him. But Diggs pushed the man a full 2.5, 3 yards, and they threw the flag on William Jackson. I mean, if anything, it should have been, both ways. But again, as a receiver, I always tend to side with the receiver because if a man's grabbing you, you got to get him off of you, right? So either way, I just, like you said, I don't know if zone fits this team necessarily. And they keep trying to fit a square peg in a round hole at this point. It is not working. And I think that's where you got to start to assess, what are we doing? What are we doing? Maybe and I've seen teams turn it around in season before. But with this kind of talent, I wouldn't put it past Jack Del Rio and Ron Rivera to figure it out. But right now, they are struggling in that department. They haven't figured out what they need to do with this collection of talent. And it's really hurting us right now. Red Wings 01, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, who writes, we clearly played better with Jamin in over John. I wish I could tell you that is the case. I don't, you know how I feel. I don't want John Bostic on the field, but until they feel comfortable enough putting Jamin in every situation, we're going to continue to see John Bostic on the field. So it is what it is. Again, John Bostic stinks and we want him out, but I can't say he's the least of our worries, but we've got more pressing issues than John Bostic. Okay. It's not like every time we give up a long third down, John Bostic is to blame. That's not the case. He's a culprit on some of those. Absolutely. But we've got some more pressing issues. Again, the front four and then the secondary. Those two have to marry with one another. We either need really good coverage down the field that allows them to hit home because, the quarterback has to hold on to it, or we need the front four to hit home and it'll speed up the quarterback's process, maybe forcing the quarterback into an errant throw that the secondary takes advantage of. We're not getting either right now. The quarterback is driving back, the pressure isn't hitting, and the defense, the secondary, they're not making the quarterback hold it. And so guys are wide open, and so the rush can't get there on a secondary rush or continuing to hustle. Or when we do win, like Deron Payne kept winning early in the game. Doesn't matter. Somebody's open. Chase Young wins. Somebody's open. Montez Sweat wins. Somebody's open. It's got to be a collective effort, and we're not getting that right now. Trevor Patch, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Greatly appreciate you. Writes, double down, trade for Henry, Wildcat, and 6th lineman. Absolutely not. And Derrick Henry, they've ridden that horse so much so in Tennessee that you trade for him, you're not going to get much out of him on the back end anyway. Carlton Pagano Jackson, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy CPJ, thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, time to improve and get ready for next week. One game at a time, major time for adjustments moving forward. And that's where I am. I mean, I don't want to overreact to one game. The biggest takeaway from today's game is that we're not good enough to have the type of mistakes that we had today and overcome them and not get your brains bashed in against a good team. We turned it over 3 times today. Taylor Heineke with 2 picks, easily could have had 4 in this game. We had a fumble by Logan Thomas, and you make those kind of mistakes. We only forced 1 turnover from the Bills. You make those kind of mistakes on the road against a team that's way better than you, you're going to get your brains beat, bashed in. And we got our teeth kicked into the back of our throats today. And, I generally don't need wake-up calls like this, but maybe this will be a wake-up call for the staff that, maybe we need to switch some shit up. Maybe. We'll see. I think this is when we find out what this staff is made of. Because if we keep doing the same shit, then you know what? This staff ain't shit. And I don't want to put Scott Turner, because I know a lot of you can't stand Scott. I don't want to put him in the conversation right now. I honestly don't think the offense is the issue. I really don't. We had poorly timed penalties. We didn't have a ton of them, but when we did, boy, were they backbreakers. That first one on the first possession of the game, you can't have it. JD, that's a bad play. And then the second possession, you're moving the ball after the Jamin Davis stop. You get it out to Logan Thomas. He breaks a tackle. He breaks another one, and boop. How come everybody else can punch the damn ball out, but we can't? We don't even try. We want to go with the lawnmower. We want to try to rip it out. Nobody's ripping the ball out these days. Punch that shit out. Everybody else does it to us. We can't do it to anybody, though. We don't have dogs. I keep saying it. We don't have dogs that hunt, in that particular manner. I shouldn't say we don't have dogs. We got some dogs. But these dogs ain't hunting right now. We got to get them back to hunting, man. We do need some major adjustments. Time to make those adjustments, because we got a very winnable game next week against the Lions on the road, or Falcons on the road next week. Red Wings 01. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Writes, today proved just how much we need Curtis Samuel. I think we definitely could use him out there. I think we slightly overrated the talent at receiver. Slightly, ever so slightly. I do think we are much better than we were last year. I don't think there's any doubt. But I think we slightly overrated how good we were on. And I think a lot of what we were doing was with Curtis Samuel in the lineup, obviously. So we really can't judge this offense until we get Samuel back in the fold to see how we really are. But I can tell you this. How I feel about this team is not really a reflection of how I feel about the offense right now, because I don't think this offense is the problem. Now, they turned it over, and they haven't been great on third downs, and we haven't put ourselves in the best position sometimes. And, Scott Turner hasn't always had the best play calls for what I deem to be the situation that we're in. But to me, the offense isn't the problem right now. Because it's hard when every game, in the 2 of the 3 games, we've gotten the ball after half, which means we won the toss and deferred until the second half, which is what you're supposed to do. And in 2 of those 3 games, in both of those games, I should say, the defense, before the offense even hits the field, they're down 7-0. Now, is that an impossible? I'm not making any excuses for this offense. Can't make the mistakes we made today. Your first possession can't end because you got J.D. McKissic deciding he wants to set the worst pick in league history. They didn't have to call it, but he didn't have to touch that defender. That guy was not going to run with Terry across the field. He didn't need to do it. Then your second possession, you're on the move. You're in Buffalo Bills territory, and your tight end fumbles. What are you going to do? You can't make those type of mistakes offensively. Defense just got you a stop. They're few and far between. So when they get it, you can't waste it. But you'd like the defense to continue to get you stops, continue to get punts, continue to create short fields. Every drive that we have starts inside our own 30. Every single one. I don't know if we've started a single drive this year plus 35. Outside of drives where the team that we're playing against has gone for it on 4th down and we stopped. And I think that happened today against the Bills. And I don't even know if that was a plus 30 drive or not. They might have been going into the wind and they didn't feel confident with their kicker kicking with the wind blowing at them. And we might have taken over on downs at like the 31 or something like that. Whatever the case may be, we got to be better, man. But for me, it all starts with the defense, to be honest. That's where I'm at with mine right now. J Mart, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy J Mart writes, 6 of 11 starters on D were first round picks. What the hell? I mean, just because you're a first round pick doesn't mean you're going to be great in this league, but you expect first round picks to be better than, second, third, fourth, fifth round guys. But it's all about getting the right guys and having them mesh and gel together. And I'm not sure that they're doing that right now defensively. They're not trusting the guy next to them to do his job. And it's killing us right now. It really is killing us right now. William Lee, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. I think this is a double up for you. Double up. William Lee writes, worst loss, Washington versus Patriots in 2012. Steelers anniversary game. Carolina 2015. Eagles with Vic. Now this. Worst losses, he says. There's some bad losses. I don't know if any of them top the. There were several. I mean, there were so many that you didn't even name in there. But the Monday Night Massacre with Vic probably is the worst one. There's also the swinging gate game. That was just a travesty. That game was an abject disaster. There's so many of them. This one isn't even close to any of those. Red Wings 01. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, Brandon got hurt, then came back in. Hope he's good. I think he's okay. But he took a nice little spill over there. But I think he was fine. He came back, played in the second half. So, we'll see if he shows up on the injury report this week or not. I hope he's all right as well. William Lee, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, can Sims be dominant on another team next season? I don't know if he can or not. But at this point, I'm going to be honest with you. Who gives a shit what happens with Sims on another team this year or next year? I just care about what happens with Cam Sims on this team this year. Ishmael Benitez, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy IB writes, tough loss. I'd like to be a fly on the wall in that locker room to see what the atmosphere or what Ron has to say. What a play from Antonio Gibson. I'd like to know honestly, I think I know what Ron, the message is going to be. Hey, one game. We played a team that was better than us, and we got our asses handed to us. And we wanted to see where we were, and we're not there yet. So we pick ourselves up. We dust ourselves off. We got a road game again next week against Atlanta. They got their first win, so they're hungry. They think they're good now, and they think they can turn their season around. They think they can make it 2 in a row against the NFC East. At some point, us beating the Falcons will be the difference between this division being garbage this year and this division actually being respectable. If a team like the Atlanta Falcons, who I think is one of the worst teams in football this year, if they're able to split in this division, they need to be, at this point now, they can't go winless against the NFC East. Obviously, they've already beaten the Giants, but they got soundly handled by the Eagles. Dallas is going to beat them. If they're healthy, they're going to beat the Falcons. The Falcons stink. If we can't beat them and they win 2 in a row against us and the Giants, then this division is going to stink again. And maybe the Cowboys run away and hide with it. But if we really want to make things interesting, if we really want to have a pulse this season, this feels like last week's game. This feels like, it's not must win. Your season's not over if you lose it. But you really need to win this next game. You really do. And if you don't, then you're probably not going to have a season, and this thing could be over before we get to the midpoint of October. It could get really ugly. It really can. You really need to win this game next week. But we got plenty of time to talk about that. And what a play by Antonio Gibson is right. That was just fantastic. When we needed a pick-me-up, when we needed a big play to give us a chance to at least fight, Antonio Gibson gave us that. That was outstanding. Metaphor, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, my guy. Metaphor writes, on a positive note, Sir Mix-a-Lot. Double up. That's right. DCJ, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, my guy. DCJ writes, what's good, Lou? What's good, DCJ? Can Washington football team show us more running back screen game? I mentioned it on your Friday vid. My opinion, the D is playing bad, but they are putting too much on Taylor. This game had to be a clock and run it. Shaking my head. I already talked about that you said you wanted to see more running back screen game, and you got it. And it was very successful. It was good to see. And as far as the defense, yep, they're playing bad. Yep, they put too much on Taylor. In his first road appearance in his NFL career, they put way too much on the plate of Taylor Heineke. And I thought that he didn't handle it as well as I would have liked to have seen him. I think he needs to just go out. Yeah, it's cool to make plays from the pocket. But your biggest strength is your ability to extend and make plays. And I didn't think he did that enough in this game. I think he kept hanging in the pocket, and he has to stop coming back to throws late and thinking that. And again, I think part of this may be he can't see, but he's got to stop, coming back to throws late and thinking that it's open, because he keeps getting picked off doing the same shit. And he almost got picked off last week doing that. You got to stop coming back to plays late and thinking that it's open. This is the NFL. This isn't ODU. So he's got to be better than that. J Mart, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. J Mart writes, 10 days to prepare, and this is the result. Drink. Yeah, that was one of the things that I kept saying during the game. Like, wow, we had 10 days to prepare for this game, and this is the best effort we've got. Not good. Not very good. Not very good at all. Craig Harrison, thank you for the super chat. Double up. Thank you for doubling up, Craig Harrison, who writes, Burrow, Herbert, and we take this full of himself, one-tool, oversized, average player. Don't tell me he ain't average. The impact and games/stats speak for themselves. You can feel the way you want to feel, and obviously me trying to convince you isn't going to work, so I'm not going to waste my breath. What I'm going to tell you is you've got revisionist history, because Herbert wasn't available when we were on the clock. Burrow wasn't available when we were on the clock, because I wanted Burrow. But he wasn't available. Cincinnati took him one. We had the second pick. We could have taken Herbert. I didn't love Herbert, and most people didn't love Herbert. And I'd love to know what you thought about Herbert before, not now. You're going to tell me, yeah, I wanted Herbert. You didn't know Herbert was going to be good. And you don't have any proof that you thought Herbert was going to be good. I can tell you right now, I wanted no parts of Justin Herbert. None. I didn't want Tua. I didn't want Herbert. I wanted Chase Young. I didn't think either of those quarterbacks were going to be needle movers. The only one that I wanted was Burrow, and he wasn't available. So there was that. You can sit back now and say we could have taken Herbert. Of course we could have taken Herbert. If we know now would have known now what we did then, we would have made the selection. But we didn't know then what we know now, which is Herbert has the look of a future MVP in this league and a franchise quarterback for the next decade plus for the Chargers. Yeah, what we know now would have helped us then, but we didn't know that then. We know now. It's too late. It's too late. Zachary Minor, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Zachary Minor writes, Del Rio not putting the right players on the field. Bostic and Collins and coverage skills not good. QBs finding holes in the zone. Run the damn ball. Running the ball isn't the answer all the time. And we ran the ball today, and there were times where Gibby got nothing. I told you he averaged 2.1 yards a carry, I think it was. 12 carries, 31 yards. JD had the better hits. But we ran it today and didn't have any success at times. I didn't have a problem. There was only one possession where I said, come on, man, what are you doing? And I already told you what that possession was. We got 7 from JD on first down, and then we threw it twice and we punted. And I was like, why did not follow up a 7-yard run with another run? Just a thought. You got 2 downs to get 3 yards. Why not run it on 2nd and 3, or go heavy play action on 2nd and 3? Get the defense to bite up and go right behind it. You don't have to go for the deep ball. You don't have to go for the jugular. You go heavy play action and then run Terry on a deep dig with a wheel route concept off of it, like you did last week. No, those are the types of things, I think those are the opportunities that we're missing with the offense right now. But yeah, really disappointing effort. Too legit reality check. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Too legit reality check writes, I remember a few months ago you said our defense will be better or regress. I think you were right on the regress part. And by the way, I now, he said, and by the way, I now think it's Taylor's third start of his NFL career. He's not the answer. You're free to feel that way. This wasn't a good performance by Heineke, but the guys around him didn't help. 3 drops, 3 clear, easy drops. Some bad decisions by Heineke. Like I said, even the one he was bailed out on was what might have been his worst decision of the day. You could argue that the interception that did count, that was picked off by Micah Hyde, was clearly the worst decision. But I'd argue the one that got picked off where Sheriff gets injured and they ultimately called the Bills for 3 penalties on the play, including illegal contact, which we accepted, was his worst decision of the game. It was a stupid throw, He just looks small. That's the thing I keep coming back to, is I don't know if he can see over the trees. And I think it impacts his, decision-making and thinking guys are open because he can't see where defenders are. And I think that's a problem. I could be wrong, but it just feels like he looks really small. I'm not giving up on him. I'm not giving up on him at all, however. Cadillac T, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat, Cadillac T. Portlock Sono 87, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, and thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Portlock Sono 87 writes, what's good, Lou? What's good, Portlock? Says, as expected, we have the impatient side of the fan base, majority, I might add. You know what it is. You already know what to expect. Are overreacting to this loss. Buffalo is the better team. We have to take these losses and improve. It's just that simple. Hell, I feel that way as well. There is one thing that gnaws at me, and it's this defense. But this was an expected loss. Again, this is the part that really gets me upset, is that I didn't expect us to lose in the manner that we did. But this was an expected loss. I'm not shocked by the outcome of this game that we lost. I'm shocked at how we reached the outcome. We didn't play well. We didn't take care of the football. We made a bunch of mistakes. That was frustrating, because the hallmark of a Ron Rivera coach team is that they don't beat themselves. They give themselves opportunities. And we saw that last year. Don't beat yourself. Play clean football. And even if you're outmatched, you'll have a chance. That was the case last year. We're not doing that right now. We're not taking care of the football. We're not minimizing the mistakes. The defense isn't getting stops. They're not getting off of the field. So that's frustrating, but you knew a total overreaction was coming. Either way, if we beat Buffalo, we're going to the Super Bowl. We're going 12-5. If we lost to Buffalo in this manner, we stink, fire everybody. It's the same old story. It's old. That's why I don't get frustrated anymore. Because I already know what's coming. So I don't get upset. All I do is I make sure I try to preach patience, and I try to, this is the same shit I had to do last year, if you recall. Same conversations we were having last year. Same shit. We're going to go 3-13. I've seen that in the comment section today already, even though there's 17 games. You can't go 3-13 this year. We're going to go 3-14. We're going to go 2-15 this year. We suck. Okay, that's fine. Same people will be talking about how good this team is if we beat Atlanta next week. So it comes with the territory, man. I'm with you, though. You dust yourself off, and you find a way to try to win against Atlanta on the road next week. That's, to me, the big objective. This only counts as one. This doesn't count as, although it feels like we lost 4 times today, we just lost once. That's it. J Mart, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. This is why it was important. Let me just say this. This is why it was important to win last week, because we knew we weren't coming to Buffalo and winning. We knew that. That's why it was imperative that we beat the Giants. And if, God forbid, that we don't get the offsides penalty, we are 0-3 right now, and the sky is definitely falling. But we're 1-2, and we got a chance to get back to 500 next week. So I'm not that concerned, other than the fact that this defense doesn't look like anything that we thought it was going to look. Doesn't even look remotely close to the defense we saw last year. That's troubling. Who in the hell are the linebacker and D-line coaches? Sam Mills III is the linebackers, the defensive line coach. I can see his damn face. I can't think of the linebacker coach's name. I can see his face, though. It's a really enthusiastic guy, and he doesn't have a lot to work with, man. So I'm not going to beat him up. I'm really not. John Livingston, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy John Livingston writes, Josh has struggled with zone coverage in the past, so I'm guessing JDR game plan for that. Maybe, but we don't. But this is the thing. He struggled against teams that actually know how to play zone coverage. That's the problem. Is we have a track record that extends prior to Jack getting here, and it has continued since Jack has taken over. We don't play zone coverage well. Our zones are not tight. We do not communicate well. We do not zone and pattern match well. We are a very sloppy zone coverage team. So I don't care how much he struggled with it. We don't play it well. So he's going to pick us apart, and he did. But you wouldn't have known that. You're not a Washington fan, so you wouldn't have known. But you're just telling me from the perspective of maybe this is why Jack Del Rio played zone. And that could be why he decided to go primarily zone coverage. But at the end of the day, you got to know your team. I know what he doesn't do well, but I know my team, and we don't play good zone coverage. So it doesn't matter that he struggles in zone because we don't play it well enough to make him struggle. So let's do the thing that we may be a little bit better at, and that's play man. We didn't do that. Too legit reality check. Double up. Thank you for it. Doubling up. Greatly appreciate you. Writes, if you watch Chase Young, the man is getting double teamed or chipped. The running back is helping out. Plus Chase is doing other things. Still a beast. I'm not willing to make the double team getting chip excuse for him. Okay. It's happening, but he's getting one-on-one opportunities and he's not winning. He does other things. And that's what I contend. Why when people say he stinks, he's this, he's that, I'm like, he does other things that impact the game. He does other things that impact the game. You may not be able to see it because you just think about sacks, but he does other things that impact the game greatly. But when you draft a guy second overall and you're looking for that monumental second-year leap, you're expecting production from a sack standpoint. And that's not something we can just gloss over or dismiss. No, you expect the second overall pick and a guy that won Defensive Rookie of the Year to be taking that second-year leap that I talked about in the offseason. J.J. Watt going from 6 sacks to 20.5 sacks his second year. Khalil Mack going from 4.5 to like 15 or whatever that number was. Like, that's what you're looking for. And we can still get there. But it doesn't look like we're trending in that direction right now. But he is getting chipped. He is getting double teamed, but it's not as often as, Ron and others want you to believe. We're watching the games. We see what's going on. He's not getting chipped on every single snap. He's not getting double teamed on every single snap that he doesn't get chipped. He's not winning. And he is still a beast. I agree with that. Thank you for the super chat. Too legit reality. Zacchaeus Maggette III. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Z writes, Heineke let me down with those 2 picks. Now I'm back not wondering if he can be our quarterback of the future. Yeah, look, I told you that I feel like he's the right quarterback for this team at this time, and I haven't wavered on that. I didn't like his performance today, but I didn't think he got a lot of help either. I didn't think he played well. I don't think he got help from his supporting cast, and I thought it was just a total, really all-around poor effort by the offense and defense. That said, it's one game. So what does Heineke do against the Falcons next week? What does Heineke do the following week against the Saints, against the Chiefs, against the Packers? We're going to see. I didn't expect him to be flawless, 7 touchdowns, no interceptions, or the 1 interception he threw. I didn't expect him to come out here and tear every team to shreds. I expected them to struggle in some of these games. But how does he bounce back? How does he respond against a Falcons team that has been playing some solid defense, but you can move the football on them? We'll see. We'll see next week. King of the North, thank you for the super chat. Double up. Thank you for doubling up, King of the North, who writes, do you think Ron and Del Rio preaching this gap discipline scheme to Chase is causing him to go outside every down? Why not switch it up? Stunt, TE, spin move? Maybe. I mean, with Josh Allen, I think a lot of why we saw the outside rush is because they were afraid if you take an inside rush and you don't get there, you're going to give Allen the outside. So, you want him to stay outside and make sure Allen stays in the cup, as they like to say, in that pocket. But if you rush too far up the damn field, which is what Chase was doing and getting pushed up the field by their right tackle, Darrell Williams, then all Allen is going to do if there's any interior pressure is he's just going to slide up into his right. And he did that on multiple occasions. So there's something to be said about rush lanes and making sure you keep a quarterback like Allen contained and in the pocket. But you also want to be able to switch it up because you can get a win. And we didn't do that. And I didn't see a lot of TE games. But again, I don't like to make any assumptions until I have a chance to either watch the film or at least watch, especially on the D-line. You can see it on the TV copy sometimes. Until you get a chance to watch the film or see it over again, then I can start to assess whether or not, we had opportunities to do this or do that, and we didn't do it, or we did do this a lot, and they just out-executed us, out-schemed us, whatever the case may be. It didn't feel like there were a lot of stunts and twists because they didn't want to give Allen an opportunity to get outside. That said, maybe they are hammering home gap responsibility, and it's hindering Chase's rush. I don't know. I don't know what's being taught, and that's why I said we don't have all the answers. All we know is what we see, but we don't know what's being, said behind closed doors. So it's hard. These are tough situations that we're in right now because we don't really know. Thank you for the super chat, King of the North. Lamarick Anderson. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate it. Lamarick, you just told me to call you LA. I'm going to just call you LA because I do this shit all the time. So, LA, thank you for the super chat and doubling up. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. My guy, LA writes, Louie, I meant our. LOL. I know what you meant. Really appreciate you, LA. Big Money Sonny, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, my guy. Big Money Sonny writes, pathetic. One word to sum it all up. Couldn't agree with you more. That was pathetic. Agreed. Too Legit Reality Check, thank you for tripling up. Greatly appreciate you, who writes, Lou, you are right. It's only Ron's second year. Expectations went higher from last year. But I told you guys, and I said this multiple times in the offseason, the worst thing that could have happened to Ron was that he won the division because people aren't going to keep it in its proper perspective. They're just going to see that we won the division. And now the logical next step after winning the division is to now go win 10, 11, 12 games. And I'm like, I don't know about that. We still don't have a quarterback. And I don't know if you saw the schedule or not, but the thing that I didn't account for, that I don't think any of us accounted for, and this is what has me so frustrated right now, is that this defense was going to regress and take a massive step backwards. If the offense wasn't great and we were still struggling to score, okay, I could see that, especially without Curtis Samuel in the lineup, and you were really counting on him to add, an infusion of speed to this offense. Yeah, I can see that early in the season. But to see the way we have regressed defensively is mind-boggling. It is disheartening. And right now, it has me rethinking, do we even have a chance to get to 7 wins? Now, I'm not moving off of the spot. 7 was the floor. 10 was the ceiling for this season. And there are 7 winnable games. We've already won one. If we don't beat the Falcons next week, I don't know how we get to 7 wins. That's for sure. The Falcons stink. And I don't know how many more of these types of games you're going to have on the schedule where you say, we should find a way to win that game. And there aren't many more of those. The Raiders look better than I thought they were going to look. And again, we don't know what teams are going to look like by the time we get to them, if they're healthy or if we're healthy or whatever the case. But a lot of the games that I looked at initially when this schedule came out, and I said, hey, that might be a winnable game. The Broncos look better. The Raiders look better. I'm like, I don't know. We already knew about the Packers and the Chiefs and the Bucks and the Seahawks and these Bills. We already knew about those games. But there were other games that we looked at and said, hey, these are winnable games. Now, and this is why it's so important to have some of those division games sprinkled amongst the other games to break up some of these tough parts of the schedule with some ass teams that you can try to win against, like Philadelphia, like Dallas. You don't have them until the back end of the schedule, and you got all of this meat that we got to deal with, and then we get to the bread at the end. Well, whoever wants the end bread? Who wants the end bread? That's the problem with the schedule. Is we could get to week 14 and have every single one of those games be meaningless. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah. Get to week 14 and have every single one of those games be meaningless. Because we already stunk it up against the meat of our schedule. So that's frustrating. Anyway, it is second year run, and people need to understand that and recalibrate their expectations. I've got to recalibrate mine because of this defense, not because I was expecting anything big out of Ron or this offense. I've been quite satisfied with the offense. I think that's the right word to use. This defense has been a mind-numbing disappointment. And I still can't wrap my brain around why we're so bad defensively right now. Thank you for the super chat. Big Money Sonny, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Big Money Sonny writes, double up. Pathetic. Yeah, I think that is worthy of doubling up to say again, we were pathetic today. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Big Money Sonny, greatly appreciate you. Will Morris, thank you for the super chat, and thank you for being a valued member of the squad. My guy Will Morris writes, these guys on D bought into all that hype. Now the measuring stick has spoken, and they are officially not very good. It's now time to be humble, shut up, and ball, period. That might be the most profound statement that has been made today, Will. I think they did. They kept saying they weren't buying into the hype. I think they did buy into the hype. I think they did get big-headed. I think they did think they were just going to show up and teams were going to be fearful of them and that they weren't going to get roasted and lambasted the way they have to start this season off. And the measuring stick has spoken. We're not very good. Chase Young said, how much weight we carrying? None at all. Zero. Zilch. Dinero. Okay? Or zero. Zilch. Zip. Stingy with dinero. Okay? We got zero weight that we're carrying on our shoulders. We're a lightweight. We're a featherweight. All right? So now, like you said, it's time to be humble. This was a nice, large serving of humble pie. Eat it up. Don't leave a crumb on the plate. And shut up and ball. That's what time it is now. I don't want to hear shit from nobody about nothing. Let's play ball. Period. End of discussion. I'm with you, Will. Zachary Morris, or Minor, excuse me. Double up. I think it's your second one, Zachary. Really appreciate you. Who writes, we always give wide receivers freelances from the line of scrimmage, and any good QB can find weak spots on the field with players on passing downs that can't cover. That's because we're playing zone coverage. You don't ever see a guy playing press at the line of scrimmage in zone unless it's cover 2. We play a lot of cover 3 and a lot of cover 4, which means you got deep responsibility. So you got to get the hell out of there as a corner. You can't stay down there. You can press and bail, but you got to get out of there. And I don't know if, with the coverage that we're playing, I don't know if the defenders have the ability to come up and press or not. I really don't. I can't speak to that. But generally speaking, when you're playing zone, you play off. You want to keep everything in front of you. And you got the deep third, deeper than the deepest, wider than the widest. That's your responsibility. So if you come up, you're more susceptible to giving up something down the field, and your responsibility is to keep everything in front of you. So you're going to see guys playing 7 yards off, and everybody's getting free rushes. Free jaunts off the line of scrimmage, and Nobody's redirecting them. No linebackers redirecting them. Everybody's getting a free release and getting to get right into their nice, cozy holes in the zone and sit down with no one around them. Big Money Sonny, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, triple up, pathetic. Yeah, think that is worthy of being able to be said 3 times in a row. Pathetic, indeed. Big Money Sonny, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, did I mention that this performance was pathetic? Yeah, I think you did a couple of times, maybe once or twice, maybe 3 times, maybe 4 times. I'm not sure. LA, my guy LA, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, I meant our time and just call me LA. Laughing my ass off. Yes, and I am going to just call you LA from now on. You don't have to worry about that anymore. I'm sick of making that mistake. And I thought I had fixed it. I'm terrible, man. Just like the team was today, I'm terrible. So you're LA. From now on, you don't have to worry about me trying to. And it's easy. It's Lamar. I don't know why I can't just wrap my brain around that and just get it right. But whatever. You're LA now. You've been christened LA. So don't worry about it. Zacchaeus Spaghetti III, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Who writes? We've already read this one, but I'll read it again. Taylor let me down with those 2 picks. Now I'm back to wondering if he can be our quarterback of the future, because the last one was kind of messed up in terms of the words. No, but yeah, you should be wondering that. I was confident that he could lead this team this year. I'm still confident he can lead this team this year. And remember, I said this last week. I think the first video that I did when I told you guys Taylor Heinicke is getting this opportunity, he's going to take advantage of it. I said he's the right quarterback for this team right now. I didn't say long term. I don't think he's good enough to stop us from looking for a quarterback next year. But what he could do effectively is make it a lot harder for us to draft one. If this team is good this year, you're not in a position to draft one next year without trading up. If you stink, you make it a lot easier for the organization to be able to move on. So it's on him. He's going to decide what they do with his play. This is his opportunity. He's got to either take advantage of it or leave it up to chance, and they're going to move on. Remember, they didn't want him in there in the first place. They wanted Ryan Fitzpatrick in there for a reason. So he's got to prove that they were wrong. I still think he's going to do that. Gabrielle Davis, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super chat. Amara Dumboya, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Writes, got to stick with Heinicke. Let him learn from the battle scars. I agree. You know, there was some. I think somebody, they might have been they may have been being facetious. You know, they may have been, had tongue placed in cheek when they were making the comment that we need to bring in, Kyle Allen in the Mob Squad. But no, you let Taylor Heinicke learn from this experience, get better, grow from this experience. So, yeah, I don't think we got to worry about anything. Redskin 007, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, if you're feeling down, just watch some Giants fans rant. It's petty, but hilarious. They are 0-3. We're going to be 2-2 with a dub over the Falcons next week. Let's go. Cheers. That's the hope. That's why I said it's imperative that we won last week. What last week's win did is I told you we were going to lose this game, which is why we had to win last week. So the only thing disappointing about today's outcome is how we got there, how it was reached, not the outcome itself. We knew we were going to lose. So the question then becomes, can we right the ship again, get back to 500, and continue to give ourselves a chance to have a season? That's what we're looking to do next week. Barry Curtis, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, one bright spot on our team has been Terry. Love having him on the team. Hope he's here for a long time. And I think he will be. I don't think they let this guy get out of the building. He's the best thing we have, and it's not close at the receiver position. So, and it is fun to watch him. Even when we're having a bad game, you can expect at least one really good Terry play, and we got one out of him today as well. Gabrielle Davis, double up, thank you for doubling up. Gabrielle, who writes, What about the drops? Aren't the receivers paid to catch the damn ball? Absolutely. And we talked about the drops earlier, but I mean, Cam Sims dropped the ball last year. Are you surprised? You shouldn't be. De'Ami Brown dropped the ball at North Carolina, and I told you guys, expect some drops this season. So are you really surprised? I'm not. Maybe you are. Antonio Gibson, I ranted and about his inability to catch the football and not having natural hands. I ranted about that. When he drops the ball, are you surprised? I'm not. So, no, I'm not. I love Logan Thomas's hands. I'd like for him to not fumble the ball, but he was trying to make a play. I'm not going to kill him for that. I like the fact that he was able to go up. That was a beautiful ball from Taylor Heineke and a great job of boxing out a defender and going up and using that six frame to go get it. There is reason for optimism here. But the defense is overshadowing any optimism that we can have because we were expecting them to be the driving force of this football team. And right now, they are a huge hindrance. Thank you for the super chat. Martin Matthews, my guy, Double M, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, hey, Louie, first game should have won. Second game, we won. This game was a wake-up call to say, hey, defense, you're not as good as you thought. Put in more work. I think we should be fine, and we'll see. Again, next week will be a huge game because the Falcons have scored 6, 25, and 17 in their 3 games this season. 2 out of the 3 have been losses. If they go and score, 27 on us next week, I'm going to tell you guys right now, we're doomed because they don't look good offensively right now. Even the 25 they scored against Tampa, it was a sketchy 25. Like they needed help from Tampa, and they got some playmakers now. Don't get me wrong. Obviously Kyle Pitts is going to scare us shitless because we have no one that can cover him. They've got a number 1 wide receiver that I think is really more of a number 2, but we'll see in Calvin Ridley, but he's still really good. And I've been really impressed with Cordero Patterson, who I wanted us to sign as a return man. I've been impressed with him as a receiver and a guy catching it this season. So we'll see what they do. If they're able to move it on us, they score it at will on us like everybody else is doing, then we're in for a long season. Saddle up. It's going to be a long season if we can't find a way to win against the Falcons next week. Zacchaeus Maggette III. Again, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Zacchaeus writes, I know I'm going to get bashed for this, but I don't see us winning any more games 1-16. Yeah. You deserve to get bashed for that. We play in the NFC East. That's number 1. And number 2, there are other. First of all, we're not as bad as we looked today. Every team on our schedule isn't as good as Buffalo. Okay, so I'll just stop right there. So I'm not going to say any more on that. Okay, we did not look good. I understand the frustration, but there's no way we're going 1-16. Kenny Davis, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Kenny writes, this team lacks aggressiveness. We were more aggressive last year to me. It's easy to be aggressive when you play teams that aren't good, which is what we played last season. The Chargers look like they are a playoff team. They just went to Kansas City and won, in case you're wondering. They're 2-1 right now. It should be 3-0. They should have beat Dallas last week. The Giants are 0-3. They stink, but they look like they should be 3-0 when they played us. And we just played a Buffalo Bills team that was in the AFC Championship game last year and are going to make the playoffs, probably going to win their division and be a good team this year. It's hard to look aggressive when you're playing teams that you could argue are better than you. I think we should have won week 1, to be honest with you, but we didn't. But that said, we're going to be the team that in most weeks aren't favored to win the game. And with this defense playing the way that it's playing, we're definitely not going to be favored in a lot of games now. We weren't favored already to begin with. And it's hard to be aggressive when you're always on your heels. You know what I'm saying? When you're 5 minutes into the game and you're down 7-0. You're 10 minutes into the game and you're down 14 or 10-0. and the offense hasn't picked up a first down yet, and the defense can't get a stop, it's hard to be aggressive. But that's about a mindset. So maybe you change that mindset by being aggressive from the jump. Don't wait until you're down 7 or 10 or 14 to be aggressive. Be aggressive from the start. But when you play San Francisco and Cincinnati and Detroit and the Giants twice and the Cowboys with a backup as well early in the season, it's a lot easier to be aggressive. So we'll see what happens. Thank you for the super chat, Kenny Davis. B-Ball God. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy B-Ball God writes, what's frustrating the most is we keep making the same mistakes. Really discouraged by our coaching. WJ3 has been disappointing, getting PI after PI. He only had one today. I thought it could have gone either way, but it is frustrating that, he's getting one a game at this point. And I think right now I'm less willing to blame the players, more willing to blame the coaches at this point, especially on the defensive side. Because I don't think we're getting enough out of the defense, period. And I don't care if you're coaching them to be in this spot or be in that spot. Well, they're not being in that spot. And if they're not following directions, then get somebody in there that can follow directions. It's really simple. You know what I'm saying? If you're coaching them to do it this way, and if they would have done it this way, it would have worked, then get somebody in there that can do it the way that you're coaching it so that it can work. But if it's not working and you coached it that way and it's not working, then change the damn scheme. Change what we're doing. Mix it up a little bit. That's my biggest problem right now. Thank you for the super chat, B-Ball God. Got another super chat. This one is from John McDowell. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy John writes, if Fitz is ready, would you start him next week? He's not ready next week. He's out until the bye week, minimum. And if he were ready, no. You know how I feel about Fitz. We're not winning anything with Fitz. He might be better than Taylor Heineke, and he might have been better than him in this game. I don't know. Maybe he would have been. I'm not a Ryan Fitzpatrick fan. I know he's not the future. I want to find out if Taylor Heineke could be the future. He's probably not, but there's only one way to find out. So let's find out. That's what I'm all about. Again, this is year 2 around, not year 3 or year 4. So while I want to win, and I want to win every single game, and that's what I'm here for, I also am into figuring out what guys are going to be along for the long haul. And this is one of those, because I don't expect to win anything of note this year. Told you guys that from the jump. So let's find out what we got. And that's what I'm all about right now. So Taylor Heineke is who I want to see. Leo Benjamin, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Leo Benjamin, writes, no words, just here to support you. Keep up the great content. Thank you, Leo. Really appreciate you. And I'm just going to let y'all know, it's still TLH, the legend of Heineke. It grows. I didn't think he was terrible today. I just was disappointed by some of the decisions he made. And I think he needs to use his legs more. Okay? And I'm going to tell you this. I'm worried about him every time he gets hit because I saw him grimacing at least 3 or 4 times after taking shots. I just think he's small. That's my biggest problem with Taylor Heineke. Is he small? And there's no putting on weight or he's a small guy. Period. Let's see. Zachary Portnoy, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, at least we aren't the Bears. Poor Fields. The Bears stink. But guess what? The Bears have the same exact record as us. So there you have it. Malcolm Goodall, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, why do we always sign guys, pay them big bread, then ask them to change their game? Ergo, Hainsworth, Norman, and now WJ3. To me, that's a sign of a team that doesn't understand who they are. Because you sign guys based off of what you do and how they fit what you do. And what we did last year, and maybe, and I thought, and correct me if I'm wrong, But Jack told us we were going to do different things. We were going to get exotic in coverages now because we had a guy that could play man-to-man. That's what Ron told us in the offseason. Haven't seen any of that yet. Looks like the same defense we were playing last year. We're just not playing it as good as we did last year. And the competition is a lot better than it was last year. And teams have a book on us now, okay? Oh, you want to stop Chase Young and Montez Sweat? Just chip them and double team them and frustrate them. Get it out of your hands quick. Throw a couple of screens, couple of hitches, couple of slants, couple of shallow crossers. Just get it out of your hands quick. You'll be fine. Don't worry. I don't know. We'll see. I agree with you. He's a man corner, and we haven't playing a ton of zone right now. So, but a lot of times zone converts to man. But whatever. Red Wings 01. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, is Taylor not getting out of the pocket and extending plays entirely on him, or do the coaches not want him getting hurt, have a role in it? It could, but I think when you get out on the football field, all that stuff goes out the window, and you just play off of your instincts. And I think Taylor wants to do damage from the pocket initially, like he did last week against the Giants. That's ideal. That's what you want from your quarterback. But if guys aren't getting open or you don't like what you see, you got to get out of there. And I thought he just was indecisive today. It took him too long to make up his mind as to what he wanted to do. And he still was able to get away. But, you know, the longer you take, guys are going to start coming towards you. And instead of you picking up 6 because you made up your mind quickly, or picking up 9, you're getting 2, you're getting 3, and then you have to get down. So, or, you know, you want things to open up earlier, take off earlier, force guys to come up, respect you as a runner. And now, guys, you saw how every time he came up towards the line of scrimmage, including his forward pass, illegal forward pass, which I thought was questionable and could have been challenged. How many times guys came open when he did that? When you attack the line of scrimmage, defenders have to respect that, and guys get open. And also our receivers have to do a better job during that scramble drill of trying to free themselves and giving Taylor an opportunity to get him the football. Guys were just kind of jumbled together. Again, I got to watch the tape, but I know there were a couple of plays I looked and I'm like, it's like 3 of you in the same spot. What are we doing? Somebody go deep. Anyway, I digress. Farrah Cody, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Farrah Cody writes, it's not the secondary of the linebackers. It's the front 4 not getting QB pressure, having all day to throw. It is the secondary too, because the two go hand in hand. You have great coverage, and that quarterback has to hold on to it. Now the rush can get there. Sometimes, you know, it's funny. A lot of times we say, oh, the rush isn't getting there. You know why the rush isn't getting there? The quarterback's getting out of his hands so damn quick because guys are open. That's why. If the coverage was stickier and he's got to turn down 1 and 2, now all of a sudden Montez Sweat, who won, he can get there and actually get the win. But when the guy is open, as soon as the quarterback's back foot hits the ground, even if you win like Daron Payne was winning early in the game, it doesn't matter. You can get rid of it. So that win doesn't actually look like a real win. So it is the secondary as well. It is the linebackers to a lesser degree. It's the entire defense, not just the D-line. We're more disappointed in the D-line because they were supposed to be the ones leading the charge. But it's not just the line. It's not just the D-line. It's not just the D-line. King Shane, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat, King Shane. Big Money Sonny, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Shout out to all the members of the MOBB out there. Really appreciate all of the members of the MOBB. Who writes, the shrapnel in my toilet looks better than this D. Yeah, it's not good right now. It's not good at all. I can't disagree. Malcolm Goodall, thank you for the super chat and doubling up. Double up. My guy Malcolm writes, continually sign guys, pay them big money, then ask them to do something other than what they're good at. Ergo, Albert Hainsworth, Josh Norman, and now WJ3. And we've read that one before, but hammering that point home, William Jackson III was a pure man-to-man corner when he was in Cincinnati. We brought him here. We wanted to play a bunch of zone. That's not his forte. That's not his expertise. But they feel like he can do it. I think it's more criminal when you ask a zone corner to play man than it is a man corner to play zone. But still, you want to put guys in the best positions to succeed, period. And so something has to be done, man. Something has to be done. King of the North, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, gut feeling is D problems are more Ron's fault than Del Rio. I think this is the type of D I want my team to learn and play instead of this is the D that best fits the guys we got. And that could be part of the problem. I don't know what exactly is being taught or being asked of these players. I just know that it's not working. And at times it didn't work last year, but it's really not working this year. And they've regressed as a zone coverage team. The holes are much bigger. They're easier. And, you know, some of that is the fact that we're not getting to the quarterback. Last year, we were getting to the quarterback. We were collapsing pockets. We were sacking quarterbacks. We were pressuring quarterbacks. We were making them uneasy in the pocket. We're not doing that. So maybe those same deficiencies and those same holes were there last year. And teams weren't able to take advantage of it as much as they have been this year because of the lack of pressure. Maybe that's the difference, is the lack of pressure. But I'm going to say this, and this might not be a popular take, but to this point, Ronald Darby was playing better football than any of our corners are playing right now. Last year, Ronald Darby was phenomenal. He didn't have any interceptions, I don't think. We had a bunch of PBUs, and he was always, and I mean always, whether it was zone or man, he was always right there. Now, he's hurt in Denver. Okay, we got the 1 year he was able to stay healthy in Washington because it was a contract year. We got the one healthy year out of him. So I'm not saying he should still be here, but I'm just telling you, I don't know if we upgraded. We keep talking about we upgraded. I don't know if we upgraded or not. Right now, it doesn't seem like we upgraded. I don't know. We'll see. Burger the Buncha, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, me and my coworkers can go out and give up 43. No problem. Yeah, you can put together a squad of 11 and give up 43 to Josh Allen and the Bills. You don't need a professional squad to do that, but it could have been 60, I guess, if you put your squad together of you and your coworkers. Might have been a 60 spot. Who knows? Let's see. Metaphor, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy Metaphor writes, if I had $1.99 for every time Landon let down today, again, it's not just Landon. It's a collective effort here. You know, everyone's taking turns wetting the bed with this defense right now. Everybody. So it's rough. Lakers XWFT writes, hashtag Rivera out. Tired of wasting this potential. Got no words for that one. Thank you for the super chat. Lakers XFWFT. Irish, thank you for the super chat and being a member of the MOBB. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, there was 0 outside contain today. Saw D-line win on rushes, only to see Allen move left or right and reset and throw a strike. One of many issues. Yeah, and that's the problem. If you're trying to keep him in the pocket, that's cool by going outside, but you can't go so far up the field that all he has to do is take one step up and to his right, and now he can reset his feet and throw a dart. I mean, what was the point of that then? You know, I felt like there was so much of an emphasis on rush lanes. He can run, you want to contain him, this, that, and the third, that I don't know if they necessarily did the things that we want them to do. So, again, I don't know how they're being coached. I don't know what's being said, but we can only go off of what we see. And that's what it appeared to be like, hey, let's stay outside. That's what it felt like, you know, but we say that and we want to make excuses, but how many games have we watched Chase just rush up the field aimlessly? Not be able to turn the corner like that. I don't think that was a Josh Allen thing. You know, that's a Chase Young thing right now. I think maybe it's a defensive scheme thing. Who knows? We'll see. Super chat here from Barry Curtis. Double up. Thank you for doubling up, Barry. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, Barry Curtis writes, as bad as our D-line is, it doesn't matter much when someone is running wide open in the middle of the field 2 seconds into the play. And that's my biggest gripe. On 3rd and 15, the very first third down of the game, you know, it'd be nice if the D-line got pressure and didn't allow Josh Allen to stand in the pocket for 4 seconds, right? But how about not allowing somebody to run, sit down in the middle of zone coverage 20 yards down the field wide open? I mean, that helps too, you know. They do need 15 yards. It's not like they need 6. It's 15. The fact that somebody can confidently run down the middle of the field, not touched, sit down beyond the sticks with nobody around them, that's problematic. Yeah, I get it. The defensive line didn't get pressure. But you know what? That doesn't mean you have a free license to give up 17 on 3rd and 15 just because the D-line didn't get there. There are 7 of you in the secondary. There's a reason they didn't blitz because they want to have tighter windows for the quarterback to have to try and squeeze the football into on 3rd and 15. So I don't care that 4 doesn't hit home. It's 7 of you back there. Figure out a way to play tighter zone coverage. I watch so many teams around the league, and their zone coverage is tight. I mean, you want to fit it in there, you run the risk of getting some shit batted in the air with 3 guys fighting over who's going to get the pick. Us, you go zone coverage, and there are 4 guys standing on it around, creating an island with the guy wide open in the middle of it. We're never close. It's frustrating. Thank you for the super chat, Barry Curtis. Got another one here from Metaphor. Thank you for the super chat, Metaphor. Greatly appreciate you. Writes, Bud Light just announced Q4 earnings losses. Y'all chill, man. Chill on my guy, Haneke, man. Y'all are stupid. Dumb. Martin Matthews, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you, my guy, Double M. Double up. My guy, Double M, writes, hey, Louie. Thank you for doubling up, first and foremost. Maybe it's just me, but our defense strategy baffles the hell out of me. We blitz on 3rd and 3, and it almost works. Why can't we blitz on 3rd and long instead of giving their QB time to make sandwiches? I said the same thing. My first comment in the mob of substance, other than let's go, we on the field, yada, yada, yada. My first comment of substance was, why didn't we blitz there on 3rd and 15? Like, they need 15 yards. They need 15 yards. I get the concept of rushing 4, dropping 7, more defenders in coverage. We suck at zone coverage. So why not go and pressure him with 6 and force him to get rid of it short of the sticks, rally up and tackle, and get the hell off of the damn field? I don't know why, Martin. That is a great question that I'm asking, and a lot of you are asking, and we just want answers. Because the shit on the field isn't good enough right now. And everything else you're trying isn't working. It's one thing, like you said, 3rd and 3, they blitz. Why not blitz on 3rd and 15? I don't know. I struggle with that. We're just as susceptible to giving it up with 5 in zone coverage as we are with 7. So why not bring an additional 2 rushers so he doesn't have 800 years to throw the football? Just a thought, just an observation. That's it. Anyway, I digress. Thank you for the super chat, Martin Matthews. You're not wrong, Martin. Just so you know, you're not wrong. I feel the same exact way. Got a super chat here from Martin Matthews. Once again, thank you, Martin Matthews. Really appreciate you. My guy, Double M, writes, hey, Louie, learn me this. Was there any 5-man fronts on passing downs on 3rd down? Wasn't Terry double teamed most of the game? Because that interception to Terry was in double coverage. I'm not sure if Terry was double teamed all game or not. I can't say that with 100% certainty. I know that, you know, the second interception that he threw to Hump was, a scramble drill. You're down big. He's trying to make something happen. I don't love the decision. It was a terrible decision, but I knew what he was trying to do. You don't want him doing that. The interception to Terry, I'm trying to think of, He just came back late, man. That wasn't a double coverage. He came back to Terry so late, just like he did on the other interception that got, wiped away. He's just late. Late as hell. You come over to somebody that late, you're gonna get picked off. As far as 5-man fronts, I don't recall seeing them today either. I don't think that was a thing today. I think they went with 4-man fronts for the better part of the afternoon. I don't recall seeing any 5-man fronts. So that's a good observation by you. After, I think, having 5-man fronts in each of the first 2 games, especially last game for sure. Tomas Nelson, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Tomas writes, "What's up, Lou? Huge fan. What's up, Tomas?" Says, "What adjustments would you make if you were Del Rio about this defense? Always hail to our beloved Washington football team." If I were Del Rio, I've already talked about some of the adjustments I would make. I would blitz a little bit more. I would create some matchups where they can't, double team or chip. I would force the issue. I would mug the line of scrimmage, force them to try to, like, we mugged it and then we dropped out. For instance, like one play, we had Sweat and Young rushing from the same side. I love it. You know what I would do? I would take Young, line him up wider than the tackle. I would take Sweat, put him on the tackle, and then I would bring a linebacker down in the A gap. I would slide over Payne one gap to fill up both tackle and guard on that side and overload that side of the football field. Come down, play aggressive defense on the other side, because normally you want to throw where the blitz is coming from. So you come down, you be aggressive, and you overload a side and you just try to create matchups for guys. Or you stand them up, everybody's walking around, and you just do different things. But I would change up and I would play some more man. If it's 3rd and 15, I'm not sitting back anymore with this defense. I'm coming after you. I would do creative things with these guys because we got so many tremendous athletes that I would like to see them be, a little bit more, deceptive, a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more creative. You may only rush 4, but you can do it in a creative manner. So why not do it in a creative manner? I've seen how the Rams have gotten Aaron Donald one-on-ones. I remember when they played us last year, they said, you know what we're going to do? We got one guy lined up to the left of the offensive line, and we got 3 guys all lined up on the right side, and Aaron Donald. And every lineman on the right side, center, guard, tackle, all have someone over them one-on-one. So if you want to double Aaron Donald, you're going to have to pull somebody over from the other side, or you're going to keep a running back in because you're going to block him one-on-one. That's how you create mismatches. That's how you create opportunities for your best guy. I don't want to hear excuses about they're getting chipped and they're getting double teamed. Find ways to create opportunities. I don't want to hear that shit. Find ways. I've seen the Browns take Myles Garrett and slide him inside and make him a 3-tech, and he'll win from inside. I don't want to hear excuses. Find a damn way. That's what I would do as Jack Del Rio. Find a damn way. Stop telling me what the offenses are doing to combat this and that. All right, this is what we gonna do. Stop this. P_low dollars. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. And thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, Lou, I'm wondering why we see what the problems are and the people who are getting paid for it don't. I think we simplify things. Football can be complicated, but it doesn't have to be. But it's not as simple as we make it sound. Okay. As much as it is, hey, just blitz more. Okay. You think they haven't thought of that? There's reasons that they're probably not comfortable blitzing more. My problem is if something isn't working, then you have to find a way to do something different to get better results or different results. And they see the things we see, and maybe they see different things. Like they coached it this way, and if they'd done it the way they coached it, it would have worked. So they're like, hey, just do what we're coaching you to do. And guys are making mistakes. And that's why they keep doing the same shit over and over again, because they feel like if they just do what we've been doing in practice, maybe it looks better in practice. And if they just go out in the game and not have brain farts, then we won't be in these predicaments. Maybe that's the case. But it's frustrating when we feel like we see something And the same shit keeps happening, and they don't seem to understand what's happening. And you're like, dude, come on now. If we see it, we're Monday morning quarterback, quarterbacks over here. We're armchair quarterbacks over here. We think we know everything, and you guys can't see what we see. What's going on? But it can be more complicated than just do this, do that. But it's just frustrating. I just know that. I do know that. It is frustrating. Kevin, the PRF. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, is Sheriff trying to get in on that Heineke money, laying down next to a Bud Light after Gus Farratted into the wall? Hashtag product placement. I didn't even realize that's. I know somebody dropped a beer right next to him. I didn't know that he fell down by a sponsorship over there for the Bills in their stadium. It just was an awkward, crash into the stanchion there. So I'm just glad that he's okay, because it looked a little weird there for a second. Anyway, that's the last super chat. Really frustrating effort by the squad today. 3 turnovers, Bills 9 of 15 on third downs. You can't get stops. The Bills score on 8 of their 12 possessions in this game. They score 43 points. The offense is once again abysmal on third downs. Let me see our third down percentage. I'm going to go out on a limb and say we were 3 of 13 on third downs. 2 of 11 on third downs. So I gave us one that we didn't have. 2 of 11 on third downs. We continue to be abysmal on third downs. How about that 4th down quarterback sneak and we lost about 6 yards? How about that? God, that was terrible. Oh, they were so ready for that quarterback sneak. It was not even funny. 481 total yards for the Buffalo Bills in this game. And as I mentioned, 3 turnovers by Washington. We get 1 back in return via special teams. We were 2 for 2 in the red zone. Problem is the Bills made 6 trips to the red zone and they were 4 of 6. There you have it. Anyway, I digress. I am a Washington fan, etched in burgundy and gold. My Washington spirit will never die. Washington spirit will never fold. Until we meet again, hail to our beloved Washington football team. I'll just leave you guys with this last sentiment. It's one game. It was a brutal watch, tough to stomach. The defense is going in the wrong direction, but that's a good Bills team. I didn't expect us to win this game, and many of you felt the same exact way. We're 1-2. The sky is not falling. We can get back to 500 next week. We do have a winnable game. You pick yourself up, you dust yourself off, and you find a way to get back to 500 on the road against the Atlanta Falcons. That's what I'm going to leave you with. I'll see you guys on Monday for the Washington Football Nightly program. For some of you, I'll see you tonight, Packers and 49ers, or for the podcast tomorrow afternoon. Either way, I'll see you guys very, very soon. What a disappointing afternoon, but it's just one game. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.